The other side should measure 3 or 4 spots, and on
I
this
don't know. That's
side,
what's making the
if
noise
set
or not. I got
right
another
where it
set of
needs to
gears.
be.
Put
The other
'em in.
side's
It's
a
still
lot
noisy. I
looser.
don't care. I'm just gonna send it. I don't know if that's what's making the noise or not. I got
like
another set
style,
of gears.
buddy. I
Put them
like your
in. If it's
style.
still noisy, I don't care. I'm just gonna send it.
Whoa, Derp, you're a little
I
close
like
up
your
here
style,
today, bud.
buddy. I like your style.
You something up in the
Yes.
ceiling. Whoa, Derp, you're a little close up here today, bud. What? You something up in the ceiling? Are you still working on it?
Yeah, I don't know why it's giving me. I'm hearing my own sound effect
what-
back in my ear.
Are you still working on it? You think if you
Yeah,
go
I don't know
through
why
the
it's giving
settings,
me.
you can do that echo
I'm
cancellation.
hearing my own sound effect back in my ear.
Kill it. You think if you go through the settings, you can do that echo cancellation.
Yeah, mine was echoing
That'll
at
kill
first,
it.
but it's not now.
Should kill it.
Yeah, it takes
mine was
Soundstream a
echoing
little bit of
at
time
first, but it's
to
not
sync
now.
up the audio.
Yeah.
That way it kind of kills that echoing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes Soundstream
But-
a little bit of time.
Anyways,
I kind of wanted to touch base.
it.
I've been doing some. You get it?
Yeah, I got it.
All
We're
right.
good. We're
All
good.
All right. So you want to catch us up on your ZL1? Do that?
Yeah.
Sick.
Been having fun with that. Just finished up the Umbra Auto Addict C8 style taillights, and on my car it's like a wannabe Corvette, even though it's not a Corvette.
Welcome to the
So
club, bud.
yeah, so I got some New Balances, some jorts, and I'm ready to rock. I got my golf clubs in the front, so I'm ready. And then I got the Anderson composite diffuser on there to go with my front Anderson splitter, and I just got a
What
few
did
more
you
things
think of
to
the
do.
quality? Does it fit? Does it fit good?
It's pretty good. I would say 90%. Some
it's not
issues
bad.
with the edges don't quite fit. It probably needs the mold needs to be probably lengthened a few centimeters to actually wrap around the bumper like it should. So that's an issue. So now my ACS rock guards don't fit, and so I have to get different rock guards that aren't quite so precise fit to that piece right there, because they like snap in real close with the OEM diffuser. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think it looks good. Hopefully, it doesn't like shatter, because then I'll be real freaking depressed if I break one of these pieces of carbon fiber and I'm out more money than I should have spent.
Dude, I'm telling you, it matches the deck lid so nice.
Yeah,
Have you got the car out on the road?
No, it's still up on my quick jack lift. Yeah, I'm waiting to get the rock guards on there, and then I'm gonna actually put the True Fiber side skirts on there as well. So it'll be carbon fiber all the way around, from the bottom diffuser, the trunk, the side skirts, the splitter, and then of course my that heat exchanger, exposed carbon fiber thing piece right there, and then the canard dive planes or whatever. Those are all carbon fiber. Yes. So it's not like these aren't like precision for weight savings race carbon fiber by any means. It's pretty much a 1-to-1. Only thing that saved me weight was my trunk. The diffuser probably weighed maybe like a half a pound less.
Oh, really?
Because, I mean, the OEM diffuser is a piece of plastic.
Yeah.
Until you start swapping doors, trunk, hood, that's where you get, like, carbon fiber weight savings, unless you're, like, in a full race car and you're swapping, like, the roof, the quarter panels and, all that fun stuff. Then you can start saving weight. But for me, it's just cosmetic mostly. It looks better.
Cha-ching.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to... skip to here. Should have had this pulled up, and I apologize, guys, but I
Yeah, I'm kind of scrambling. I just got done crawling underneath.
Yeah, I was cutting
Explorer.
it close because oh, did you really?
Yeah, I pulled the valve body off my transmission because I'm working on rebuilding the valve body and hoping the transmission will work after that, and I don't have to actually drop the whole transmission. So I literally just finished that like at 4:45. So and it's messy because it's transmission fluid everywhere, pieces of shit, crap falling everywhere. Check balls are freaking falling all over the place. Oh my god! No. And I've never done anything with transmission before, so I'm like, I'm looking at the diagram, spraying the shit off with like carb cleaner because there's just the fluid everywhere, and it's no way to do it like not messy that I know of. I'm not a pro, so.
Are you guys going to be in the market to buy then? Do you think, or
to buy what now?
Are you guys going to be in the market to buy? You think, or no?
Oh, an EV or a car in general,
just a new car in general.
Not anytime soon. Not for me. No. I'll buy a beater, Ford Focus, or a Ford Escort, or an old Honda Civic for my kids to drive.
Yeah.
I let them drive my Explorer, and then boom! Shortly after, my transmission takes a crap. So now I can let them blow up their own car.
No, I just wanted to get into today's topic of the big push for EV and how this might be a big blowhard smoke and mirror show as far as is what I'm kind of starting to think that about this whole deal. There's just I got into this big subscription to this news, and I've just been kind of it's like drinking from a fire hose. You ever heard that saying? And this literally is, because there's just so much information I've just been reading. I'm like, this, oh my god, well, this kind of contradicts this, and this kind of, you know what I mean? And you don't know which way to go. But the more and more you get into it, I'm starting to think that this whole thing might be a big you know how you have those small few, the minority kind of over talking the majority of the people, and this might be pushed upon other people as far as.
I mean, that's Twitter. That's Twitter right there. I mean, the minority.
Yeah.
I mean, they cry the loudest, and then people make these vast changes for the 2% who cries 100% of the time.
Why the fuck we do this? Does anybody know why the fuck we did this? Yeah. Yeah. No. I was reading an article, and I had it pulled up here, but I was scrambling at the last minute. For those of you that might be looking to buy a car, I did read there's kind of some positive drawbacks to this, the Fed raising the interest rate and then making automotive loans harder and harder to get. There was a change in, credit scores here recently. I haven't done any research in it, but that might also have something to play in it as well. But I did do some research, and I am struggling to find it now. But push. I'm trying my hardest here. Man.
It's when you really need it the most is when you can't find anything. Yeah, it happens every time. Yep.
Dude. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Let me try this here.
It's like the Detroit Lions trying to win a game right here. They usually win the preseason, but when it comes to the actual game, they can't win.
Yeah. No, I was out of sync here. I skipped last week because I did a poll real quick, and everybody was watching the Super Bowl. But I guess we'll start with let me bring this into the stream here for you guys. But car prices hit record highs as automakers limit outputs. I've done some videos in the past as far as I think that auto manufacturers intentionally trying to, I don't know if they're doing less work and trying to reap more profits. I've heard some talks that they're trying to limit as far as, these semiconductors, and I hear that they're stifling the output of them. I'm not sure, and I'm not 100% accurate that this isn't self-inflicted. I can't. Hang on, I'm just trying to find that one article. That one article was the main.
I mean, every company wants to make more money per item that they sell in profit. If they can make more dollars profit per item, they're gonna go for it if they can get away with it.
So that's I guess that's a good. Corey, up there in Canada, have the lots filled back up? Has anything changed up there?
Yeah, the prices are a lot higher.
Are you serious?
Well, see, I was thinking about getting the new Chevy Colorado. I've got a 2018 Colorado. and they're coming out with a new
Yeah.
design this year. And to get the same truck, like the same equipment, it's about $14,000 more than what I paid for mine in 2018.
What?
Yes, the new Colorados, the Z71, which is what I have, is about $14,000 more than what I paid mine. I paid $40,000 for mine. According to the website, the new Z71s are about $53,000, $54,000.
My gosh.
The interest rate on my 2018 was 2.5%, and the new interest rate now is 5.5%. So it's quite a change, quite a big difference.
Have you heard any talks of anybody being? Is it harder to qualify for loans up there? I don't know how it works. I don't know if there's. There might be the minimal difference. It might be a totally different world up there. I don't know, and that's the only reason I'm asking.
I don't know. I don't think anything's changed. But like you say, the prices are way higher.
Yes.
The idea of buying a new Camaro, but I don't know.
What? I mean, yeah, inflation's up, so prices are up, and then they're playing with the interest rate, so then less people want to buy it because they have to pay even more interest on top of already higher product, and then it's just like everything piles up.
Do you think that maybe is that why they're kind of dragging their feet or sandbagging on the consumer as far as like the output goes?
Well, like I said, if they can make, they're paying more for the raw materials, of course, and then imports are more expensive because, like, I think I read somewhere like getting one of those crate, not crate, but whatever they call those big ass boxes that come overseas and stuff for the product. Shipping, overseas shipping is like something like 500% more than it was before. So if you're bringing over like steel or whatever from overseas, China or whatever, product, processors, all that stuff, prices are skyrocketing. So of course they're going to pass that directly to the consumer. Plus, like I said, if they can kind of, maybe if they have to slow down their product to help bring some of their costs down, maybe I'm not sure how they run the shifts or whatever, but maybe they can help offset some of the extra expenses a little bit. If they put out slightly less vehicles, then it's going to be more demand for less vehicles, so that price is going to go up. So it all compiles up. Of course, it's going to keep going up until it hits like that breaking point where people stop buying, and then the prices end up having to come back down until people start buying again at the level that they're comfortable with.
I agree. Now, my question to you is, what do you think that it's going to take to get there?
Oh, hard to say. I guess it depends on all this stuff going overseas, and I mean, is a market gonna start coming, crashing back down? Is it gonna keep kind of, where it's at now? So it really depends on all the external factors that can go. Does China start invading Taiwan or something like that? That's gonna significantly affect prices, because there goes like 80% of the CPU freaking factories are in Taiwan or something like that we use, at least for the next couple of years until our factories spin up. Yes. So I mean, if that all happens, you'll be getting your new Mustang, whatever that dark horse is going to be like $100,000 or something like that just to get it.
Oh man! And
then you'll pay the interest rates are going to go even crazier at that point, because we're still funding the Ukraine war, like $100 billion. Then we'll be obviously funding 95% of the, if there's a Taiwan-China war, we're going to be 95% of that, and the markets are going to get crazy. So, it's the better time is probably now. I mean, was before, a couple years ago, was the optimal time. But if you plan on buying a new car soon, you probably better to get something as soon as you can before stuff gets worse. But then, like I said, housing interest rates are going down, mortgage rates are going down right now. So But I think that's because they hit a level that was so high, people stopped buying, and the stock started building up again.
Yeah, but man, I mean, when you're talking $400,000, 8% interest, that's no joke.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you're talking big money. What's the average? What's the average home down in Texas go for? I know that you guys.
Well, I'm in New Braunfels, so it's like 300, 350, 300. range now because this place is booming like crazy. But if you go out some of the further towns, you get houses for like 250, 200, 250. But you got the massive influx of California, New York, all those, Washington, people flood in Texas in general. And so a lot of people are coming here because we're close to Austin. We're a commute within range.
How far from Austin are you?
It's like, I want to say 35 miles or something like that.
That's not bad. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's 35 miles to Austin, like 30 miles to San Antonio, a couple hours to the beach. So, a few hours to, Dallas, a few hours to Houston. It's kind of really... So this is like the I-35 pipeline, tech pipeline. So, shit, who knows? In 20 years from now, Austin and San Antonio is probably going to freaking pretty much be connected to like a super suburb.
You're going to be a suburb, yeah.
Yeah. Get absorbed or something. Mm-hmm. But yeah, prices. I mean, like I said, I saw somebody advertising a mortgage rate of like 4.75 or something like that. But that's probably an 800 credit, so most people will probably be getting like still like 5.5 or 5 or whatever, unless you have like 800, 820 or some shit.
You gotta have some immaculate,
like $100,000 down payment or whatever it is.
Yeah,
it's hard. Like I said, it's hard to compete with. Like I said, a lot of these people come from California. They'll sell their little shanty. 800, 900 square foot shanty, get $1 million, and they'll come down to Texas or Florida, and they could just cash offer, $50,000 over, and then a local or whatever, he'll try to buy a house, the normal method. They can't compete with, somebody coming and dropping 50 G's over. Now, that was a little while ago now. Right now, I don't think it's quite as bad because some of the housing stock started building back up that I've heard, so it's not quite as bad.
Yeah.
Because of the mortgage rates. Of course, mortgage rates spike, so people start, there are people, and then the economy's on a downturn, so I heard there was a lot more people pulling out of house deals and stuff. They were getting ready to buy a house, mortgage, the economy starts slumping, they lose their job or whatever, so of course they have to, I can't close on the deal anymore or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
So, it's like a yo-yo,
Mm-hmm.
Up and down.
Well, I found the article. And I was reading this article, and it's basically, it's more than just the average consumer, because we can get on these live streams or we can, make videos or whatever, and we can, cry and bitch and tell people what we want. But I found an article, and it's actually kind of gets down to the bedrock of everything, like the people that are financing, the people that are financially backing dealers, the people that are dealers themselves, because... the one thing that I kind of had to remind myself the entire time I read my article is these are the people that have their boots on the ground at ground zero as far as selling the cars, taking allocations, actually making the transaction and servicing these cars. So, and these are the people that have their incomes and livelihoods on it. So, this is kind of where this kind of changed my whole perspective of everything, because it felt like, the last conversation we had of the live stream was, it's being pushed on us. Kind of trying to predict and see the future, but they actually did polls, and they actually took, the following questions were presented to 264 dealerships executives, January... over like the week of January 16th to the 23rd regarding their sentiments on electric vehicles and the federal government in general. So they're basically, and these pie charts were actually like pretty, it was eye-opening to me because it actually had physical data of not just the average consumer of people, that think with their emotions or wear their hearts on their sleeves or make irrational responses, but these people that make calculated decisions as far as, this is their livelihood, this is their business, and they're responsible for a lot of moving parts and a lot of moving pieces on a day-to-day basis. So in 2022, they kind of did a survey of, in 2022, how did the Biden administration affect your business? And keep in mind, this is, over 250 car dealership executives. 59% said negatively. 27% said no effect. 8% said positively. And 6% still were unsure. we can go through the. Do you want to go through these one by one, or what do you want to do here as far as?
Yeah, man. I'm surprised not 100% negatively, just because you think every dealership, if you're forced to go EV or whatever,
yes,
I guarantee 99% of their technicians aren't trained on EV, so they have to completely retrain their workforce.
Yes, sir.
To work on EVs. It's a completely different, I mean, you're going from mechanical to a mechanical electrician. And so that's going to cost them money just to either hire new people or retrain everybody. So you're obviously going to have to pay more money than you wouldn't have to pay. You have to add charging stations at your dealership because you can't just, they're not going to plug them into their outlets. They're going to have to put in probably increased capacity for charging.
Bud. Yes,
and
sir.
Those things aren't cheap. So, and I'm sure some places, Booney dealerships, there's no demand, at least anytime soon, to support, a huge increase in EV sales out in like the farm country somewhere where no guy's going to get a farm truck EV. Yeah. And then if they have to still put together like, charging stations and stuff to support all this stuff, is the grid even in where they're at, the line to their, business, is it even capable of providing enough electricity to support a number of chargers?
Do they have that kind of support?
Yeah. So but just build the solar panel on your roof and then a windmill in your back lot. You'll be good.
You're good. You're good to go. Yeah. No, and this is what was it blew me away because these people. Here, I want to go through. I'll just read through these four right here. What effect do you think the split Congress had on the auto industry? 36% was no effect. 25% is unsure. This is a scary one. This is a very scary one, and I'm kind of I don't know what to think of this one. 23% said positive, and 16% said negative. That one I'm a little unsure on. Do you support President Joe Biden's goal for half of all new vehicles sold in the U.S. by 2030 to be zero emission? 70%. No. This is a really good one. This is a hot button one. 11% were unsure, 50-50, and 19% said yes. That right there, that makes me feel good about what's coming as far as automotive sales, ICE engines.
I got a question. Yeah.
Go ahead, Corey.
What like in your area, what do they use to produce electricity?
We've got a blend of everything, and if you pull up like Des Moines on the Google Maps, Daniel, what's up, buddy? I'm like right on the edge. So if you go, maybe 10 minutes to the west of me, you're in the middle of nowhere. You're in rural country, Iowa, and if you go 10 minutes that way, you're pretty much downtown Des Moines. So I'm kind of like right on the edge of it. So we've got windmill farms. Everybody's starting to really put the solar panels on their roofs. They're kind of they got a big push as far as like, I don't know how this works because I don't own a home, but they come in. And the state will have like funded contractors, and if they, if you're the pitch of your roof and the direction which your roof faces, if it's all, they do a big survey, and if it aligns with maximum output of what solar panels could make use of, then you qualify for this whether it's 100% paid for or whether it's half or whatever. If you get some tax credits, I don't know, I'm not sure, but everybody's starting to do a big push for solar panels around here.
Everywhere.
Do they do that in Texas?
Everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, even places that solar is like questionable if it's that helpful. I actually was pursuing solar.
What? Oh, were you?
Yeah, but my local freaking electric company is like not very friendly with solar. Like I had a pretty cool design like put up. You have to put a whole design plan and the electric company has to approve it. So the people that you're going to kind of semi-replace have to approve your design to replace them. So obviously they have incentive not to approve it. And I wasn't doing it for like green energy and stuff. I was just doing it because
That's like digging your own grave.
I mean, the good thing about the solar is if you have a good setup and you have like a big roof that's facing the sun.
Yeah.
I forgot the degree is where
Southwest
I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have I was gonna put like a pretty decent size, and I was gonna have the thing called like sunlight backup as well. So it's a real small batteries because I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on batteries. But if people get a basic solar design, they get the panels on there, the grid goes down. Say you have the grid goes down for whatever reason. You can't power your house on solar with the grid down. Your solar goes down, everything goes down.
So what do you do?
Well, the design I was going to do is it uses a small battery. Solar goes down, it switches. I forgot what the system was called, but it would switch over and it would run some of my main items off of my solar panels. Of course, with the sun out, and it had like a small battery, like a 3.3 kilowatt battery that's kind of acts as like a buffer, and it handles all the auto switching and stuff like when the grid goes down. Yeah. So if the grid goes down, I can keep like a couple fans on, some outlets, maybe my freezers, and of course at nighttime I'd have to just keep my freezer shut, and I could run just essential outlets and some fans and keep the home comfortable. But I can't run like my AC, but I could have a generator hooked into that system, so then I could at nighttime just have it auto flip on the generator, run the generator at night, kind of optimal. But they had all sorts of issues like things that other areas approve fine, but this area just has no incentive to approve. And I mean, they do have that, I forget what it's called, like net credit or whatever, so they don't give you money back, but it offsets your bill. So obviously during the summertime and during the
so it'd be free.
You would it would offset. Let's say if during the summer I generate a little bit more power than I actually need, and that actually goes and gives me a credit. I don't get money back, but then let's say wintertime, it'll use that credit to help offset bills that I don't generate that full amount. Now, some places, let's say you generate 150% that month, you'll get 50. You'll get that money direct back. Some places that you get nothing, you just give them free energy. In some places, they do like an offset, and and then pretty much you get 30% federal tax credit on any solar, batteries, install, labor, frames, the whole deal. Starting last year, I think it was backdated to January 2022. Before that, it was like 26%, and then it was supposed to ramp down. That big Green New Deal or Green Energy Deal junk. Yeah. They upped it to 30% for like the next 10 years, and they make it. The solar people will come and make it sound like, oh, you're gonna get. Let's say you get $100,000 solar system, you're gonna get 30% cash back in your taxes. No, it's just a tax credit. So if you only pay $5,000 in taxes, you can only get $5,000 back or whatever, plus the child tax credits. If you can't you're not going unless you pay 30-something grand in taxes, then you'll get it all back. Yeah, so they try to make it sound like, oh, you're going to get a check at the end. No, it's if you're not paying a lot of taxes, you don't have 45 kids like I do, then you're probably not. You're probably only get a small amount back, but then you can scale it over a number of years, so it can help offset. So it can help offset your taxes or something like that. For a few years, it keeps ramping up. I think for up to 4 or 5 years. So, but I was going to do it. Like I said, I kind of wanted. Plus, the good thing about solar, our energy prices are going to continually go up. And let's say you get a real low interest rate solar loan on whatever your product is, that price is set. So it's going to be set. You'll be paying, say $200 a month forever. That's loans good. You get them for forever. You can get them 10-year, 5-year, 30. Almost like a mortgage. You can hook them to your mortgage, and so. If you only want to say your energy bill, like mine's been going up significantly over the last couple of years, especially after we had that big winter storm in Texas, and then I guess the energy company took out some big loan, and then now they're passing it as a fee onto us. So if you obviously our energy bill, say the next 5 years is probably going to be 25% higher than it was, and then in another couple of years it'll be 25% more. So so if you have a solar bill that covers most of your solar, and you're only paying $200 a month, it's going to be that forever, of course. And then if you want to get a good warranty, you want to get a good warranty. And panels don't last forever; they have a shelf life to some degree. And so the first year they're the most efficient, and then after that they actually take the biggest efficiency hit. They'll drop like a couple % of efficiency the first year, and then after that they're supposed to guarantee like your panel at 20-year mark will be 85% or 80%. So that means if your panel's putting out 300 watt in 20 years is going to be like 260 watt.
Degradation.
It's degradation because they're not going to act perfect forever. And then there's like all sorts of different technology. I went all into it when I was designing because I went and just started to design all my own shit. So I was doing all this crap. I was getting into it pretty in depth, but then I tried getting this. Yeah, I tried getting this.
Perfect example, everybody. I'm telling you. The demons in the details, and Derp's got them. That's why, like, when I'm going to do this front-end conversion on my... I'm just going to recommend them your videos. I'm just going to leave a link to every one of your videos because... Dude, you did a good job. You did a good job. I was taking it apart, and I'm like, well, what about that? And 2 minutes later, you answered it. And I'm like, okay, yeah. I like it. I love it.
If you need a freaking long ass video to go to sleep to, well, there you go. Bring them up. They run on forever. Like
go to sleep.
Like my taillight video is like almost an hour long, just because I've seen some other people doing their taillight videos, and they're like, all right, here's the bumper. You just take it off. Okay, it's off. And here's the lights. You just throw. Okay, there. Oh, it's perfect. It was like, you know what it took me. I'm like. They didn't cover like any of this stuff, like all these different things you have to do. Then
I'm sitting outside with my phone, and I'm like, "Well, how did they get the?"
My favorite's really like, all right, so here, and it's like real shaky. You see, like, and it's like, it's done. I'm like, I didn't see anything. What did you even do?
Right, exactly. Daniel R. Hemper Sr. says, "Do you think auto prices will go back down?" Yes.
Ever?
Yes, they will. And here's what it's going to take is it's going to take some new leadership, period. Sorry. I don't care whose toes or whose feelings that steps on, but that's what it's going to take. Because you can't sit here and limit output and get the price. Because all they're doing right now is they're just scraping the cream off the top. And you know what I'm saying? Without, adding some more raw milk or more raw products, there will be no other cream. So you're gonna this whole thing. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. Is what I'm getting at. But I did read some other articles. The semiconductor situation is getting better, but I think it's self-inflicted. They're making it worse. But yes. My own personal opinion, Daniel, I think it's going to get better. I think it's going to go back to where it was or where it should be. But the thing is, it's going to take time because there's a lot of cars that should have been built or should have been put into existence, but they just haven't been. So we got a gap there. We were spoiled for choice for decades. So, we had new cars sitting on the lot. We were real fat on inventory for a long time. But did we need all of that inventory? I don't think so. But what, the XY axis where it meets at as far as the perfect amount of what the average American consumes, I don't know. But yes, in a short answer, yes, they will go back down. But I think it's probably going to be somewhere. I think it's going to be like another 5 years.
Like actually going on to the manufacturer and pricing out a car. I don't think the price when you go price out a car. I've never seen the manufacturer offer a car price that actually goes down. I've never.
No.
Every time they go up, I've never seen them like, this year the Camaro price is going down $1,250. Like, no way, I've never seen that ever happen. Even if they're paying less on everything, the price is going to always be. If you're lucky, it'll stay the same.
Yes.
If you're not, like now, of course, what kind of deals you can get at the dealership, those will go back down. You'll probably get a couple, thousand under MSRP. I foresee that. Yeah. That's. But actually going and pricing out a car on Ford or Chevy or Toyota, that's never going to do a price. They'll never do a price drop. Just like getting an Apple phone. I've never seen an Apple phone price. Other than if they get a smaller model. The peasant model.
Yeah.
The peasant model only $599.
Yeah,
I don't want the pleb, pawn model or whatever. So go on.
But you pay less, but you get a lot less.
Yeah, it comes with a new LCD screen with 4 color. I'm like, what the heck? Only $699.
It's usually a crap ass battery. Low memory, the camera sucks. You know what I mean? You have to make a bunch of sacrifices in order to get that cheaper price. So, yeah. EST87. Yeah, what's the point of MSRP if the dealers are going to hike it? Fair point. But here's my thing is, these dealers, they're not stupid. And the thing is, they kind of see or they have to be guessing what this car is going to sell for in the near future. Pretty much throughout the duration of your loan is what I'm estimating what they're guessing. And they make you give them that appreciation up front. So they're basically, you know what I'm saying? They're taking the appreciation away from you in order to have the experience of owning that car. So,
talking about a new car or whatever?
Yeah,
Well,
the markups and the...
Yeah, I mean, you can do like Google Analytics and see what kind of, how much people are talking about different items. So there's tons of people talking about that that new Toyota Corolla GR or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And they see tons of people talking about it, and Toyota says, we're going to only have like 2,000 of these out to the dealership. Well, the dealer's going to be like, I'm going to ask more because I might get 2 of them. So I'm going to, if I have this many people talking, let's say 50,000 people say they want to buy one, and it's only get 2,000 this year, then we can ask whatever we want. Some idiot's going to buy it. Somebody's going to buy it for $5,000 over $8,000. Some dealerships don't do big markups. That's just part of their business model. But some, if they're like, we're getting 2 of these, and we probably could say we have 150 people in line to buy this bad boy. Well, obviously we're going to take the highest bidder, or not the bidder, but the highest person offered. And they're going to offer me $10,000 over. I'm going to sell it.
$100,000 over sticker on a C806.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. I am not. No, that car. I highly doubt. I do not ever foresee that car selling for, or holding its value at $250,000. I'm sorry. No, sir. I think that's just flat out highway robbery. But so that list you're talking about, is that basically just like what's trending?
Well, yeah. I mean, you go to, like I said, whatever's trending, and if it's the combination, if it's trending, it's talked about a lot, and it's a specific, a limited amount that they're actually going to produce, then it's like, it's fighting over a very limited supply. So obviously they're going to mark it up. Now, if it's a very limited supply car that nobody gives a shit about, then obviously you're going to sell it for MSRP or less because nobody wants it. Like I'm going to sell my limited 50-run Pontiac Aztek. Well, obviously, you're not going to be fighting in the street for a Pontiac Aztek unless you're Walter White or something like that. But yeah, so if it's highly talked about, especially something like I said, those hot hatches, manual transmission option, only like I think 2,000. So I came from the Subaru line, so a lot of people are wanting to jump that, and then they're like, oh, they wanted $15,000 markup on a Toyota Corolla.
Yeah,
it was like, what?
But on the flip side, it's those Aztecs that you were talking about that are usually worth $100,000 down the road.
Yeah, I mean, if there's only 3 that survived in good condition, then now it's a rare item. It's so ugly. It's beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah, there's 2 left in the world. All the other ones got used for meth deals or whatever. So none are good in good shape.
This one's still got candy in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see here. He says, "Oh, okay. I mispronounced his name. Sorry, Daniel. It's Hempy. I'm sorry, but yes, you're welcome for the info." EST87, 100,000 over was a joke. It is a joke, and you know what? It's funny. Oh no, not funny. Ha ha. Because there's people that paid it. Oh
yeah, I mean, like I said, if you're if you have hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank and you want that car, you'll pay whatever to get it, and you'll skip the front of the line because like I'll give you $100,000 over, you give me a car tomorrow. They're like, sold.
Yep. Sold it. Yeah, no.
I'm
listen,
the sales guy. I'm like, I'm gonna make how much money on this car? I'll sell that.
Yeah.
Shit. I'll walk it. I'll push the car to your house for $100,000 over.
That's right. That's and you know what? Me being a person that can't afford that, I'm cool with it because I feel bad for whoever paid $100 over sticker. I really do.
Yeah, for them, a lot of guys will buy it under their business. They'll write it off as a depreciated asset or whatever, and they didn't really pay shit for it. Yeah. So I mean, that's all. I've marked it off as a loss. I took a $100,000 loss on this thing. It's appreciated $100,000 day one. I was like, well,
it's actually a good point.
But I don't think those cars they didn't set to like a specific build number. They would build as many as people as fast as they can build them and get them to the dealership. People buy them. Of course, it takes longer to build a Z06. They have a limited supply, but there's not like a set like we're only building 100 this year. If they said, we're only building 100,
that's what I heard. I heard that they're capping them at 15,000 a year. 15,000 units.
That's a pretty huge number. I mean, if it was 1,500,
That's what I'm saying.
I can say
That's
okay.
what I'm saying.
They're doing 500 a year. You know, I can see people paying $100,000 markup and actually probably holding its value if they do a hard cap like that. But 15,000, that's more than what Camaro sold this whole 6th generation almost. Come on.
That's right. Exactly. That's what 15,000. If you have a long enough run, that's still enough to have one in every driveway. Or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 15. Let's say it runs it for 5 years.
It's not rare.
I mean,
It's not rare. It's not doing anything different.
Yeah.
DCT, it's already been done. Flat plane crank, it's already been done. Mid-engine chassis, it's already been done. SMC body, it's already been done. I mean, there's nothing like groundbreaking or.
What's the MSRP on those? $80,000 or whatever?
You can get well. They start.
Well, I mean, without the carbon wheels and all that.
105.
And that's the base. That's like the base model, 105.
Yeah, that's the plebeian model there, buddy.
I mean, that's still a pretty good price for what you get.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, being 15,000 a year, it's like
Yeah.
5 years. Was that 75,000 freaking Z06? I mean, that's
but
that's
do
a
you ever
ton.
see it really being $1 million car?
No, I wouldn't pay $1 million. You know, oh, I mean, 50, 60 years if everybody wrecks all theirs on the racetrack or something like that, and there's like a few hundred pristine low mile ones, maybe $1 million and 2,100, 2,110 or whatever.
And a few natural disasters
yeah.
later. Yeah.
That's when you have to
maybe.
salvage like old, torn down gas stations and digging for some gas tank, to find the last bit of fuel that's all watered down and ruined at that point. Making it out of your socks, gym shorts, whatever, trying to make some gasoline.
The last I knew, they made the Lamborghini Gallardo. 10 years, they only made 14,022. And you're gonna do this in 1 year. And you genuinely think it's going to be worth $100,000. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you're out of your mind.
Well, I mean, they're just mass produced. Like I said, Lambo, I think at least does hand fitting on all their cars. It's not the whole car, but probably I'm guessing a large percentage of them they do, and they probably have a significantly smaller, infrastructure to be pumping out. They can't pump out 15,000 cars. I think if they wanted to of one model.
Right. They, I think even on the Huracan, I think they. 2 years ago, just before COVID or whatever, they hit 20,000 units on the Huracan. So, I mean...
How many years was that?
Well, it got introduced in 2014, and 2015 was the first year it went on sale. So
a number of years, yeah.
7 years now. We're at 20-some thousand units. So, you guys are crazy if you think that this is going to be rare. That's all I got to say.
I'd be surprised if they put out 15,000. To be honest,
yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't think they have the capacity. I don't think they have the ability to put out 15,000. Like, can they even put that motor, 15,000 of those motors out per year? I mean, how many C7 Z06 did they sell?
Will, when I was up there, so I had my little moment, and I went up to the Lansing, Michigan plant up and tried to see my Camaro. He said that they can do 470 cars in a 24-hour span. Mm-hmm. 500 a day.
Well, so, and that's what between is that Camaros per day, or is that what?
Yes.
Is that they only do Camaros at that plant, or they have a couple different cars? Okay.
Nope. Well, at that one specific plant.
Now if
you go like 3 miles down the road, they build like Traverses and they do a couple other cars.
I'm just wondering how many actual Z06 C7s sold per year. I can't imagine it was 15,000. So I'm gonna assume that. Maybe a little bit more CA Z06 would sell, but I can't see them doubling how many they sell. I mean, I know they're trying to pull in Lambo buyers and Porsche buyers, and they're trying to tempt those people over. Yeah. But I don't see.
You're gonna have to be under 6 figures then if you want to be any kind of value.
Let me see.
Or make the consumer win more. But yes, getting back to the pie graphs here, do you support Joe Biden's goal for half of, all vehicles sold in the U.S. by 2030 to be zero emission?
Is it all or half?
Half. So he wants 50% of the vehicles sold to be zero emission in 8 years. Or, I'm sorry, 7 years. Yeah, I think this dude's crazy. I honestly believe that this guy's off his fucking rocker. Let's see here. What else did they say? The Inflation Reduction Act includes a new tax for income qualified buyers that's equal to 30% of the total cost of a used battery electric, plug-in hybrid, or fuel cell vehicle to be capped at $4,000. So basically, if you have one and you're trading it in, am I reading that right? You're going to get a $4,000 credit. Do you support this provision?
Income qualified buyers. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
I'm guessing if you make like under 150 grand or under 100 grand, or I don't know, some of these income things, like income, it's like if you make under 900,000, I'm like, well, that's not really. Are you really, having an income issue at 900 grand a year? But I think it's like, I think I read somewhere it's like married is like 300 grand or 250 or something like that. So most people would do it, but
you're still doing pretty good there.
That's equal to 30% of used battery.
Yes. Do you support this provision?
So it sounds like if you're buying,
yeah,
of anything that uses battery, electric, or plug-in hybrid or fuel cell vehicle, up to $4,000. So 30%.
Majority still saying no. They don't support it.
Probably because it's a supposed Inflation Reduction Act that actually we're spending even more money. So obviously inflation is not being reduced at all. It's actually going up more. Because obviously, where are they giving this $4,000 from? Let's say if every single person gets $4,000 credit on this thing, obviously that money's coming from somewhere. So obviously they're printing more money to pay for all this stuff.
Is this Cash for Clunkers 2.0 coming? Is that what I'm getting?
And that thing actually sucked because they took off a lot of freaking good used cars for people that would normally use. I give my kid a nice clunker car. Instead, they're all been cashed in, so there's none.
Yeah, they've all been crunched up and made in Pepsi cans.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait for that to be coming down the pipeline. How do you expect the Inflation Reduction Act's EV tax credits will affect your business and the ability to sell EVs? Okay. 33%. Still, we're in the majority. Still, no effect. Now they did a lot. 30% did say positive. 20% said negative. 17% are still unsure. We'll finish it off here. Are you currently selling or preparing your dealership to sell EVs? 82%.
I think a lot of them weren't they mandated that like we'll sell an EV or you're not going to be on our dealership network or something like that. I thought a couple different companies are like if you don't have EV support by like next year, you're gone. So pretty much put an axe into them, so they have to do it.
Yeah, that exactly. But that's exactly what I'm getting at here is this thing's. I mean, you can take the sum of all those diagrams, and it's basically this isn't a good idea. Nobody has faith in it, but it's being forced on us, like it's being rammed down our throat. So, I'm kind of worried for the future to come. To be honest with you, I don't see very good outcomes for the used car market. What are you thinking? Just taking in all that data, I guess that's a good way to pivot and just say, what's your thoughts on that, Will?
Well, I think, like I've been saying before, that I think they should just let the EV naturally become the main car. I mean, if the technology comes around where the EV is better in every single way, everybody's just going to start buying EVs because it's better in every single way. You don't have to force people into an EV. If your EV gets 500-mile range, charges in 20 minutes, has better performance, better horsepower, better towing capacity, everybody's just going to buy one. If the price is competitive, of course. People are just going to naturally buy them. Nobody's going to buy a gas car if it sucks compared to the EV in every single way. Nobody will. So the gas cars will naturally just become used cars, and then, backup cars, and then become no car because everybody's going to be on EV if it's better. So why force everybody into this thing if the technology will just be better?
Well, and I read another article, and that's what I made that video on, was dealerships are seeing there's more profit in ICE. There's a lot more pieces and parts to sell through the parts department. They're just a lot. You actually have a service, an actual item to service on them. The range, ice has still got them beat on range.
Oh yeah, I mean especially trucks, towing.
Yes.
Winter driving.
Yes.
I think it was Hoovie's Garage. I actually saw a video popped up earlier today where he ended up selling his Ford Lightning back to a dealership because it was getting like 80 or 90 miles of towing range in wintertime. Total.
Really?
Full charge. He didn't have like the extended battery, whatever. He had the base Lightning. But on top of that, he sold it back to a dealership. The next day, the battery bombed out on it. You saw that one so he got contacted like, hey man, the batteries just like took a crap. He's like, well, he said I hadn't got my check cashed yet either, so he's worried they're gonna come after him even though it's under warranty. But even though it's under warranty, it's like a 6-month wait to get a battery. So your car just sits there for 6 months to get a battery. So now the dealership just bought this car, battery took a crap on it. Now they can just have to sit it for 6 months because there's no batteries. And then Ford just shut down the Lightning battery production recently because I guess some issues. And they're retooling something. So good luck getting the battery.
This is one person, and they can't service one customer. Now, can you imagine millions? Like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah, and then you're not gonna. I don't foresee ever having
Dan,
getting a 20-year-old used car, say in the future, and those used cars are all EVs. Like, is there any EVs that can even sit around as a used car 20 years later that don't need significant battery replacement? No battery can sit around. Let's say, you go get a car that's been sitting in a driveway for a number of years, kind of do some minor restore fluids and some stuff, and then you have a used car that you could probably drive around. EV's been sitting for 5 years doing nothing. That battery's probably gone. So now you have to go get a replacement battery. Oh, it's $5,000 for a new battery on this thing. Well, shit, I can't even get a used car.
But it all goes back to the solar panel, the degradation and just if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, I mean batteries just can't sit dead for long periods of time. Like I know I had a battery. My kid ran it down once, and the battery was pretty much shot. Like I had to do all sorts of resuscitation on it to get it back kind of in a decent state, but it was never the same battery. It lost it lost a good amount of its capability. So I pretty much end up trashing it and get a new battery.
Yeah, exactly. You have to throw it away and start all.
I mean, these batteries are a little bit smarter, but if you let the car just sit dead for a couple of years, like in a garage or something, it's probably going to have significant issues trying to bring that thing back as a used car. An EV.
So, yeah, absolutely.
You're not going to have any EV barn finds. Look at this sweet EV old Tesla I found, 20-year-old Tesla. You started like all the wires are eating and stuff. Like, good luck fixing some of that high-powered, high voltage wiring if the harness gets eaten. Rats get into the battery pack. Good luck getting that fixed.
What kind of voltage are they running?
I'm guessing a few hundred volts or whatever. I'm not sure what the exact thing is.
I know Porsche came out with on that Taycan. I think it's 800 volts.
Yeah, it's in the hundreds. I know if it's orange cabling, it's high voltage, and if it's like black or whatever, red, it's like normal, like 12 volt or whatever. But if it's like a lot of times, like I said, when he pulled open that Lightning, they looked at it, had all sorts of freaking orange cables and coolant lines. So good luck if you get a coolant leak somewhere in that mid tunnel area. Good luck even getting to that crap. So I mean. Like even normal ice cars are a pain in the ass to work on now compared to the older ones because you got coolant lines going all the way down the to the differential, the transmission. But this thing is like a spaghetti tubes of coolant everywhere, multiple AC units, one for the battery, one for the cabin.
Yeah.
So now you got two ACs of freaking service, I guess. That's how that works. And then they're supposed to be sealed systems, but if you get a leak somewhere, you have to just go crawling around, and then you have to worry about all your high voltage stuff. So I'm guessing, I don't know if they just unhook the battery pack, and then my guess in service, they'll unhook the battery pack, discharge the system, make sure there's nothing in the wires when you're crawling up in the spaghetti land.
You big bowl of spaghetti. Yeah.
But like I said,
Go ahead.
No, I was saying, the dealerships are going to have completely different technicians for all their EV stuff. So that's why a lot of times, at least probably now, it's probably super hard to get your car serviced. You probably have to go to a big city. So, to
I
specific dealership.
I don't see this surviving. I don't see it surviving. I don't think it's sustainable. I don't see how dealerships are actually going to make the money with less parts to service. You know what I'm saying? Fewer stuff to go wrong, and you're telling me that you're gonna, dealerships are barely cutting it now, and they're charging exorbitant amounts to hit their quotas as far as paying their bills.
Well, they're gonna have they're gonna have to pay 6-figure technicians. They're gonna have to have 6 high tech 6-figure computer electrician type technicians on the staff, and they don't want to be paying these guys 150 grand. Guy.
No. But I think that it's going to be a lot more dangerous to be working on these EVs than it is going to be a gasoline engine.
Oh yeah, man! If you go there and just start cutting an 800-volt wire, good luck. Like I used to work on, when I was in the military, I worked on electronics, and I've seen some people get their a little sparked up a little bit,
Oh yeah, what'd you say, Corey?
I said you'll be hearing about mechanics getting electrocuted.
Yeah. What's that TV show, Deadliest Catch? There'll be a TV show. Yeah.
I think EVs are the future, just not
really.
Now. You got to let the market decide.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah, naturally. It'll if you get an EV that's 500-mile range, charging in 15 minutes, it outperforms the ICE cars, less maintenance, and it self-drives when you're in traffic and all that shit. Everybody's going to buy it if the price is competitive. Obviously, if it's 3 times the price, it's going to be priced out. When the prices come back down as the technology gets better, people are just going to pick them because it's going to be better. Why get? Exactly. I mean, yeah. Why get something that's slower, less convenient, less range? Why would you? Why nobody's going to get that? It's just naturally. Just like people went to more advanced phones. Nobody's got a freaking flip phone anymore. I mean. Most people don't because they're worse.
Yes. Yes.
But nobody said mandate no flip phones by next year or you're going to get a fine because you don't have your flip phone. You're getting an Apple phone or nothing. I want a phone tax credit. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Where's my $4,000? Yeah.
But the thing is, $4,000 is such a drop in the bucket on the price of most EVs that for getting a Bolt or something like that. But most EVs people are buying are like 60, 70 grand. Like $4,000 is nothing. People get that on damn fake ass dealership ceramic coating. So you're like, I'll save you $4,000, get you that sweet dealership half job ceramic coating or whatever. I'm like, yeah.
Little couple blobs of turtle wax. Yeah, it's it's a drop in the bucket, and it's such a minuscule amount. How much were they giving them for cash for clunkers back in the day? I think they had a.
It was more than zero. That's all I know. I know it was enough that somebody just had a car sitting in their driveway. They didn't have to pay somebody to come get. They could dump it.
$2,500. But I just don't. I think ICE is going to be around for a long time. I really do. I think that internal combustion engines are just, you can hop off, you can deviate off the highway, couple minutes, give it a drink, and you're right back on the road again. And there's no power loss, there's no power deviation, there's no, you know what I'm saying? If one cell of your battery drops off, your car's performance is going to feel it. Period. Flat out. I don't care who, you know what I mean? I've done this, and I'm telling you, internal combustion engine, it's, I hate to say it, but I think it might be here to stay. But
I figured they're probably going to do more with the hybrid stuff, probably like the E-Ray and all that stuff, because then you get kind of like.
Now, do you see in 20
get the
years,
range.
You think that's going to be expensive?
Well, in 20 years, I don't think there's going to be any probably hybrids, but it'll probably be all EV probably, and within 20 years, just naturally.
You think so?
I think hybrid's going to be kind of like that buffer, until they fully move everything over tech-wise. Because you get some of the range improvement, you can still gas up, you can still run the car. You don't have to worry. You're not going to have that range anxiety, anytime you're driving. That's a lot of people with EVs are like just sweating it. You're like, oh, am I even going to get to a charge? Oh, the charger broke down. Now I'm screwed. So your whole trip, instead of just kind of your trip to your destination, your trip is literally from charger to charger, sweating it that you're gonna just crap yourself and not get a charge, or the charger's gonna be taken and you're gonna have to wait. And more EVs, right. And then so I know the Buc-ee's here that they just added like freaking 20 Tesla chargers, like at the Buc-ee's, just lined them up, a whole line of them. And so until there's tons more chargers, people are just
really?
Yeah, they need like 10 times more chargers to really start. And they can't just be in the prime areas. You got to be them all over the place, man.
Do you think that the production is going to pick up
Of EVs?
cars
Or
in general? Yeah.
Oh, cars in general? I'm sure they... I mean, anything's going to pick up compared to how we were with the chip shortages. So, like, anything's an improvement. Because that was, like, what, an 80% down or 70% down?
What's that?
From when we had all the chip shortages and stuff and the COVID stuff and the lockdowns. Like anything is... Any improvement is going to be an increase in production. But, like I said, until China, Taiwan kicks off or whatever, I'm sure we'll keep going up a little bit.
Let me see here. There was a big push back in the day, and I believe, when I say back in the day, I mean like last year. And they said Hertz ordered, I can't remember how many it was. What was it, like 400,000?
Oh yeah, it was a shit ton.
Yeah, you remember that when they announced that? Even to this day, they still have less than half of their EVs that they planned to get.
I just don't see yeah, that's a ton of cars. That's just a lot of cars for Tesla to pump out to one consumer, one purchaser for them to even meet the. Plus, Hertz, didn't they just go bankrupt? Where are they getting this money from? They couldn't even pay for their crap they already had.
Oh, okay, yeah, that could.
Maybe their bankruptcy reorganization gave them money to buy. Maybe they're like, well, if we buy all these Hertz, we're going to pay for our bankruptcy with all our $4,000 tax credits per car. Problem solved.
Bailed out, yeah, man. But my thing is we're hearing one thing, and then you see in reality is another thing, and it's translating more and more and more and more into all these places, into everywhere I look as far as like the automotive world goes. And I thought that these semiconductors that go in these EVs were more complex, but they were more prevalent. So they were easier to make. They can crank them out faster. They had a lot of allocations available for these chips, but yet they're still not cranking them out. So that's kind of the part where I'm wondering do you think that these manufacturers are intentionally sandbagging on the customers? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think they even need to. I mean, I just think...
You don't think that they need to?
Not really. I mean, they're gonna keep going up pricing, with inflation. They're gonna counter inflation. If they're gonna put a little extra on there to up the price even more, they're not gonna actually, if it's inflation's, say, actual cost of the car is $500 more, they'd say, we'll put it up $1,000 and just say it's inflation and cost of part, cost of... I don't think they're gonna sit there and just be like, well, we're intentionally gonna screw everybody over. They're gonna be like, they're gonna look at all their little, accounting numbers and say, what's the most money we can make per car and still sell all of our inventory at an optimal capacity. They're not, so they're gonna, whatever that number falls on, if it screws the customer or not, I don't think they're really factoring that in. They're just gonna factor in how they can make cars, keep all their, their union people working, so they don't have to keep shutting down, line shifts and all that stuff. So whatever they can get that happy number, where they get the cars out the door sold for a set price, they're making the most profit per car, and they're still keeping all their union people working, so not paying people to do nothing. And that's kind of...
You think it'll be a game of averages? Cost?
Whatever price they can come up per car that they can get away with, that they can sell for, make a profit, they're going to do. They're not going to go... Because if they were just going to try to screw the consumer, they'd be like, okay, well, this $5,000... You try to... obviously, there's a number where they hit that they're just going to piss everybody off and nobody's going to buy anything. So they're going to get under that number and make the most money they can make, because that's what every business is. They're in there to make as much profit as they can, pay those shareholders and the CEO or whatever as much money as they can.
Yeah. I think that a lot of manufacturers are running their mouth, and I think that they're using the media to do it. And I think that when it comes time to actually put their money where their mouth is, I think that they're going to be falling short. And I think that the interest in the public... Because I do polls every day, and a lot of them don't have anything to do with like EV, but some of them do. And everything that comes back and what I'm seeing, and I'm getting more and more votes every day. So, it's crossing more and more eyes all the time. And everything I'm seeing is nobody's really interested in this. I I know that me personally, I'm a DIY guy. I mean, just like you guys are too, and I'm not interested in working on my freaking Tesla and my own driveway. Well,
I mean, there's no work you can really do. I mean, they don't like people working on their own cars. Tesla, I guess, is very anti.
Does that void your warranty?
Probably Mo and Tesla. And I'm sure they have sensors all over the place. They're like, oh, he took my panel off at 9:00 on Tuesday. We're voiding anything underneath that panel is voided. We ain't covering any of that shit.
Right.
Like there's even like non-dealer, non-Tesla specific, repair facilities that have issues, working on Teslas and stuff like that. Plus, they are very hard to get parts from Tesla. So if you're like a independent, service shop, say you work on Tesla's isn't even barely giving people parts to do service on Teslas. And then I'm sure you need specific software, hardware stuff to interface with the processor and stuff. So I'm sure you hard to get that to actually troubleshoot your it's pretty much a computer on wheels. More than normal ICE cars. It's like,
it's an iPad.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's a full mainframe on wheels practically, but so it's hard to work on these things as an independent person unless you have very specialized tools that most likely you can't even get unless you happen to find a freaking dealer Tesla car and you rob them and you steal their freaking the normally you plug in an ODB2 port, you can run codes. I think with Tesla you have to have specialized stuff to read the faults and troubleshoot, cycle the battery, all that crazy stuff.
I never.
So good luck getting that as a shade tree mechanic because they're going to tell you to screw off.
And that was another article that I saw. They had to actually go through and federally mandate the act. What do they call that? The right to repair. Yes, the Right to Repair Act, and basically what that is they can't monopolize any specialty tools and any information, so like torque specs or how to take this. Yeah, so basically they had to go back through and re-mandate that and bring it back into for another duration of time. And I'm like, man, this whole EV thing's starting to get a little scary. It's getting kind of worrisome for me. Because I don't know if any of you guys remember back in like 2005-ish. And now when I try to go to Google it, when they were trying to go from OBD2 to OBD3. Do you remember that?
Not really. Very vaguely.
So they wanted to implement this thing called HALT. H-L-A-T. And it was basically just like Fast and Furious. They wanted to... Anybody that broke the law or whatever, they wanted to basically take, those little Cessna or whatever, the automotive... and pretty much they just wanted to have a little laser gun and boom, shut your car down. Oh my God, there was a big freak out and panic, and that's pretty much why we never got like an OBD3 because they wanted to weave that into the whole program. But I'm kind of happy that they didn't because OBD2 is good. It has a ton of data, has plenty enough for us, but it was basically going back to kind of overstepping the boundaries of like controlling people. You know what I'm saying? As far as I know that some people say that, and I have not heard this, but like through OnStar, they can shut down your car. Do you know anything about that, Will?
Yeah, they can. I believe they can shut it down, but like I said, it doesn't affect thieves usually because that's the first thing they disable when they jack your car is OnStar. They yank the OnStar right out. Like I said,
oh really?
It's good if like you have some little kid joyriding your car, but OnStar, if you have a pro thief, that OnStar is completely useless. It doesn't help at all. I've seen so many people get their cars jacked, and they're like, "Oh, what about OnStar?" It's like, "Yeah, that's." They even tell them on the thing, like, it's disabled.
Well,
they go in there and disable it.
Are they going to have a easy time in hacking the mainframe or whatever it is that they have on those Teslas or EVs?
Oh, you're talking about like a thief or whatever? I've not looked at it at all. I wouldn't say easy, but I'm sure it's... I think I've read articles where they can hijack them and stuff like that, so I haven't really like pursued it at all, but I'm sure anything that sends a signal that's goes out of the car, like with a key fob or whatever they use, anything that sends any kind of signal could be
so what about like semis on the road with cargo, $100,000 worth of cargo?
Yeah, I'm sure they can freaking do something. Like I said, I haven't really pursued it, so I can't really say too much on it. But if there's thieves that can do all sorts of crazy stuff with the automotive stuff, and I know they do in those TED talks and stuff like that. They talk about the hack conventions and stuff, where they're grabbing cars in like 10 seconds or whatever.
Really?
And like I said, I've seen a number of Dodge, Kia, the Kia in the Hyundai, I guess, is also pretty easy. And then I saw a couple posts on the Camaro forum, the Camaro Facebook group, where multiple people talking about their Camaros getting stolen. One guy said his car was stolen within like 30 seconds. He was inside this building. He looked out and saw a guy his feet hanging out of his car, the door open, like underneath the thing. He ran down because he's on the second level. He ran down the stairs and came out there, and his car was already peeling out. So I don't know if you ever heard of the flipper. It's this little device that you can hijack like key fob signals and stuff and reproduce them. It's like $20-$30 item. It's called the flipper. So you can wait for somebody to hit the key fob and say unlock button. They can stand like 30 feet away, at a car, hit record your key fob, and if they do it quick enough, you can actually then reproduce it and unlock the car doors and some other stuff. So
so all it does is mimic whatever.
Yeah, kind of. But there's a thing. I'm not sure how it works, but like Chevy and most places, they'll roll. So you have the code will roll through. Like it won't just be that one code, one signal with one code for forever. It rolls through some kind of, I'm not sure how it is. I haven't really digged into it, but it rolls through different codes. So if you catch one and then you try it, like say an hour later, it probably won't unlock it, and it might actually lock out your key fob that they hijacked. So that's one thing I heard people talking about. It's called, if you Google like flipper, hack device, whatever, they sell it as like a gadget or something like that. It's like $20-$30, and it can like grab garage door signals, car key fob signals, does all sorts of crazy stuff. But yeah, so I guess the Kia and the Hyundai, they can just hack with like a fucking thumb drive or something like that. And then Dodge, they pull that panel. I guess they can release the brake and do something else and steal the Dodge.
Yeah, put it in neutral or something.
Yeah, I think you pull a thing. There's like a thing to release like the parking brake that's like right there, like a button or whatever you can push. And but Camaro, I heard a number of people talking. They do something.
I didn't know that.
And you can rip that. You can rip that OnStar out within 30 seconds. So the antenna for it. So once you pull the antenna for the OnStar, they can't send the kill thing.
Yeah, right.
They take it to a chop shop or whatever, and your shit's gone already at that point. So good luck.
I might be doing that.
Or they can just, I think what they do is they can pop it out, swap like the ECU or something like that. They can swap the ECU with one they have to start your car up and stuff like that, because with a different key.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, I haven't really delved into stuff because I'm not out there stealing cars, but the pros have a way.
Yeah, maybe next week.
Yeah. New DIY video.
I haven't heard of anybody having any problems of getting their Camaro stolen. I mean, you know what I'm saying, outside of leaving it unlocked and kind of asking for it. But as far as like, I know like the just like you were talking about the flipper deal, whatever you're talking about. I know that's a huge problem in the Mopar community. Huge problem. And, yeah. So
I saw a couple articles on OnStar related. Some people, they use OnStar somehow to freaking break into their cars and stuff. So
yeah,
well, it's prevalent.
There's an app, and I'm sure you know just as much as I do, but there's that MyLink app, and you can use that as like your remote. Use your phone as your like a remote.
Oh yeah, I use it sometimes.
Do you have it? Do you still pay
I have it. Yeah, well, I think they give it to you to like unlock your car and a few other basic things for free, and then if you want to do
still work?
I haven't checked in like a couple months though. So my issue is my car is, I have to check engine light, so I can't even do like remote start and shit right now. So
what?
But
remote start.
Yeah, if you have a check engine light,
mine's a stick.
Yeah,
so
you can't remote start if you have a check engine light. Mine's for my I have to tighten my exhaust down. So again, they're tighten pass on there because it's got a couple tiny like little pinpoint leaks, which then sets off my O2 sensor code, and then check engine light.
Oh yeah, okay.
So,
yep. You're like shit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I wish I could just tell it to ignore. I don't care about the damn stupid tiny ass little leak. Just ignore that damn code. I wanted to put like one of those O2 extension things on there, but there's so tight space on the secondary, the cats
Yep.
for the one I had wouldn't fit, it couldn't fit it in there and fit the O2 sensor into it. Just it just moves it a little bit further out of the path of the damn exhaust, so then even if you have a small leak, it'll still not throw a code.
So in Texas, do you guys have to have inspections or
no emissions inspection? Not here. I think some counties do, like probably Austin. I'm sure Austin you have to. You probably have to.
Or
you take your car in for an inspection, and then you have to plant a tree with your car, and then they'll give you a sticker. Like, oh, you planted a tree, you gave you a sticker.
Yeah. Okay, you prove. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
What is plant 3 trees if you have a muscle car, or 2 trees if you have a hybrid.
Plant a tree. Oh my God, that's amazing.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's getting ridiculous, man. It's getting ridiculous, and I was very shocked to learn, but I learned yesterday, even Missouri. And anybody who's been to Missouri, it's like, what the fuck? Like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, they're probably
that'd be one of the last states that I would think.
That's easy money. I'm sure somebody, the little mechanic shops probably lobbied for some bullshit. And we make.
There's not even tolls down there, and I'm like, man. Okay,
you split it with the government, so they'll pay $10 admission check. The government gets $5, and every single car has to do it. That's free money, unlimited money. And the shops get that money, and
it's freaking extortion.
We have to do inspections where they just pretty much. Your taillights work, your blinker works, okay, your horn works. All right, you're good. You get this stupid sticker you have to put in your damn windshield.
So you being ex-military, did you ever do any service or whatever overseas in Europe or anything?
In Europe? No. My excitement was Bahrain. Well, I was in Persian. I was in the Gulf, so I was on a carrier in the Gulf.
Oh, okay.
And then I was a private contractor in Iraq for a year. So,
I
didn't have to get my car. I didn't have to get my car inspected in Iraq, so I was good.
Oh, you did?
No, I didn't plant any trees in Iraq, so my sticker was good because I got to drive like an F-250 or some shit around in Baghdad or whatever.
Sticker pass.
Yeah, I don't remember having to get inspections and stuff. And gas was, I think, we had a gas guard, so I was good. The military had his own gas pumps and shit.
Shit, what was it? 15 cents a gallon?
I don't even know. I just swiped my contractor card, bloop, and it just went to somebody paid it. It wasn't me. We just used it to shuttle around the base because the Baghdad base was so freaking huge. Like my berthing was like in one side of the base, the chow hall was somewhere else. My work, where I actually worked at, was in another spot. And of course, if I was leaving Baghdad, I'd actually be in like an MRAP or a Humvee or a Blackhawk, and I'd just fly around to the fobs and shit. So. Didn't have to worry about inspections on those either. That's what I'm aware of.
Shit. Wow. Okay. No, but I've heard over in Europe that they have it's super strict.
I'm sure it is. I mean, shit. In some parts of Europe, you can't even have a ZL-11LE because dive planes are cutting people's legs off or something. Yeah. I was like, there's no way it's going to do it. If you're getting hit by a car hard enough for that dive plane to take out your leg, you're already screwed by getting hit by a car at 60 miles an hour.
The last of your problems.
Yeah, because the dive plane is this flimsy plastic. It'll shatter apart, and the bumper's going to do more damage to you than the dive plane. I mean, come on now. I mean, maybe taking out puppies or something like that with it or something. But I figure if it hits a puppy, it deflects them around the car, so they actually take less damage. So they sends them into the yard instead of the car.
Oh my God, Will.
It was a puppy scooper or something. I don't know what they...
Launcher.
Yeah, just launches them around the car. That sounds like a safety requirement. They should have... Every car have to have dive plane for safety reasons. It's like a snow plow. It's a puppy plow. Just plow them over to the side.
No, but I hear over in Europe they've got really got it bad as far as inspections and down to their brakes, their wheels, tires.
Well,
they can get
all their stuff over there is freaking. They're hardcore. Like they made themselves relying on all their green energy stuff, and then Russia. And so how's that working out for them? Like I think. Germany was having some shortages and wintertime shortages and stuff. And, we're going to be hardcore environmental friendly. We're going to just bring in, this Russian gas and stuff. How's that working out? Because obviously they're not very stable over there. Come on now.
No, and that's one thing that I hope does not make its way over here is being independent or dependent on any. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, we already brought ourselves more dependent than we were on Middle Eastern oil and shit like that. I mean,
Yeah,
we love that Middle Eastern oil.
yeah.
And
We shut that pipeline off on day one, and then
if we ever think anything kicks off, they can be like, "Hey, we ain't giving you shit. Good luck." And our reserves are already depleted, pretty down, fairly low. So I mean,
we just gave half of it away.
yeah. Well, just like the whole
To
Ukraine
Ukraine?
thing. Yeah, the
Yes.
Ukraine thing. We have our weapon stores are depleted. So if we kick off with somebody, we don't even have. We have to can't even resupply our own crap.
Better think about it. Shit, we'll be going up there. We'll be going up there to hang out with you, Corey. Shit, we're gonna have to head up north.
Pressure
Yeah.
going up here is worse up here.
How much is gas a liter up there?
Yesterday it was $1.58.
What was that per gallon? Like it was
That's
$6
actually
or
low.
something?
It was like $1. The
There's like
highest
three
$1.08,
liters to a gallon. Is it
4.5.
4.5 liters to a? Oh my gosh, man!
Now, our gallon's a little bit bigger than yours too, so I don't know how it all works out. But
Probably like
4.5
$6.50 a gallon or
liters.
something like that, or something like that. And then you guys still have guys put your milk in like bags and shit? Is that what they still do in Canada?
I don't know if they still have them or not.
No,
I don't
is
know.
that really a thing?
I know it used to be. Yeah, you go there and you get you'd almost have like a Kool-Aid thing, and you get a bag and you cut like the corner off and you sit in there and you pour your milk. 'Cause I used to live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I lived in Michigan and then I used to go to Canada for like a month out of every year.
What?
And yeah, I remember the milk was always crazy. Like, because then you can't really you'd have to roll it a little bit and stick the It's like I was like, you can't put there's no lid because obviously you cut a corner of a bag.
I don't know if they still have them or not.
There's 3.785 liters.
So times that by what 1.68? You said $1.68 a gallon.
$1.58 a liter
$1.58.
yesterday.
Or a liter. So what does that come out to?
Yeah, you're right, Dirk. Yeah, $5.98 a gallon.
Yeah, $6, almost $6
It
a
goes up.
gallon.
It goes up every other day, up and then down and up and down.
Yeah. You guys, man, $6 a gallon. Is that normal? Is that like?
No, this is just all in the last. Well, right around the same time you guys your gas started going up.
Okay. Yeah. So it's been probably 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, but it's been as high as $1.80. I think the highest was $1.89 a liter or something like that. And then the further out west you go, I think they're up over $2 a liter.
Come on, man.
Every time I hear liter, I just think of liter of Farva from freaking Super Troopers. Liter cola. I don't want one large Farva. I want a liter of cola.
Yeah, you know how many people watch? EST. $3.60 here in North Carolina. Wow. That's about what it is here. It's about what it is here. Yeah, but he's talking $6 a gallon. Jeez.
That's premium, or is that?
That's just regular.
Oh man,
Yeah.
the premium is even more painful. Like $2-something for premium or something.
Yeah.
Also, our money's not worth as much either. Right? We got to take that in consideration.
Oh yeah. There's probably 30%.
Our gas has always been higher than your guys's.
Yeah.
But they're a lot closer now than what they used to be.
Yeah, well, their money is a lot. I mean, back in the day, wasn't it like $1.40 Canadian? It was like $1 American. What is it now? Like $1.10 or something like that, or $1.05?
Well, it's still high. It's like I think last time I checked, it was like $1.30.
Okay. Oh.
Man, okay. All
So really, he's paying like $7 American bucks a gallon, $7.50, $8.
It's like it's like $4 something a gallon to the equivalent if you take the exchange rate of 30%. Man, EST. Damn, $5.95 is horrible. Yeah,
That's regular.
Yes, sir.
That's regular.
That's just that's right.
And that's before exchange rate. So times that another 30% on top of that if you want for American.
Man, I tell you, I can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. No, but that was kind of the part of my whole stream, and I kind of thought people would have more questions than what they did. So it'd probably be a good time to wrap it up here, or wind it down. But no, but my whole point, it was that one article, the EV market, I think it's just a blowhard, smoke and mirrors talk right now throughout this duration of time. If anybody's going to place any credence or any kind of, I don't know what you want to say it, any kind of seriousness in it, I think that we kind of need to go through another election cycle and because I don't think that this is going to be like a Democrat-Republican thing. I think that you just need to get a different set of leadership in this, in the seat here before I would take it seriously or take it. You know what I mean? Because I think that we have. What's that?
So you guys need to get rid of the Democrats, and we need to get rid of the liberals over here.
God damn. Music to my ears, Corey. I think we had a talk about this earlier.
Yeah.
That actually put me in YouTube jail. I had that actually stunted the growth of my channel. I had a lot of growth. We had that live stream, and then it was just like, boom, put me.
Oh, you're getting more on my channel.
that put the brakes on my channel hard.
You go, you're gonna get them thrown in the basement.
What's that?
I was gonna say most car people must be Republican over there, ain't they?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. That's not
Subaru drivers. Don't go to Subaru.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the Subaru is. I'm in a Subaru cars, coffee and guns group or whatever, and it had to be split off because somebody was like, "Oh, where'd I mount a holster or something like that in the car?" And oh my god, the people are having a meltdown. And the normal channels, so they're like, "Oh, join this cars, coffee and firearms group to talk about that stuff." Don't talk about it in the normal channel because the people have a meltdown. Because
are you serious?
I thought everybody's Republican in Texas.
Well, I'm talking. This is like a Facebook group, so this is everybody. No,
I thought
Austin
is blue.
Austin's very
blue.
Yeah, it's very liberal.
Is it?
But around where I'm at, it's independent, conservative. More San Antonio's like I think independent, but look for it's like some of the parts of the inner city. Any city is like more liberal for whatever reason. It's like, my situation sucks. Let's make my situation stay sucking. I'm going to keep doing the same thing. I'm like, obviously, if you're running on the damn hamster wheel, this shit ain't getting better. Come on now. Fall off the wheel and change it up a little bit.
Stop. Put the brakes. Yeah. No. But that's been my, especially like here in the Midwest, that's been my personal experiences. Everybody that I talk to are, when you facts over feelings. Yes! Facts over feelings.
Oh man, you're going to get your channel banned now, and I'm live streaming too. You're going to get my channel banned with you.
Why? My growth is already in the crapper, dude. You might as well tell the truth. I mean, that's exactly right. I agree with you, 110%. Facts over feelings. People need to realize the crap going on. Yeah, because you can agree with it and you can go with the flow and you can go along to get along, but at the end of the day, reality is what it is, and it will take over at the end. EST, I'm a black Republican.
Oh gosh, yes.
I get divorced. Yeah, hey, listen, but you're welcome on here anytime, bud. Listen. Oh man, I bet, dude. In North Carolina, yeah. EST, are you in the city? Are you in the inner city, or where you at, bud? I can only imagine, man. But yeah, here in Iowa, it's for the past few cycles, it's been red. We've voted red. But
it went more red here. They were like blue wave, Texas. Well, let's make Texas blue. I'm like, no, please God. But it's funny. Like I'm in South Texas. So I have a ton of Hispanic friends, and they're all conservative. Yeah. they try to on the media. Media tries to make it like, oh, if you're Hispanic or anything other than evil white guy, you're probably a liberal. Liberal. But no, in reality, like more than half of my friends here are Hispanic because I'm in South Texas, All of them are conservative. I don't think any of them are liberal. And it's funny. One guy I met up. He has a ZL1. I sold a part to him. He drove up here from like Houston or something like that. Hispanic guy or whatever. And he's like, oh, I drove back by this old disabled guy selling all these Trump flags. He's like, I'm getting me like 5 of them. My wife was driving. I saw him like stopped over there and it's getting ZL1. He had like 8 freaking Trump flags piled up in his car. I was like, the media would never show something like that, but they would say, oh, if you're, Hispanic, obviously you're liberal. I'm like, no, I mean, most hardworking Hispanic people are conservative because it's hard work, family, all that, normal stuff is cornerstone
Blue
of collar. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to be identified because of what you look like to a specific group, party, or whatever.
Right.
And like I said, most people get together, hang out and chill with anybody based on your interests, not on anything else. Like, oh, you have the same hobby, you're probably gonna hang out regardless of what you are. You could be, whoever. You all like cars. Nobody gives a shit what you look like. You like cars, or you like gaming, or you like whatever.
Yep.
Nobody's gonna be like, oh, I don't like you because I know we both like car. Okay, but you look different. No, nobody cares about that shit.
Yeah, right.
Now, I mean, if you have a Mustang or something like that, now, I mean, it's a little different. Yeah, so if you have a Mustang or something like that, get out of there with a Mustang. I was driving.
Means some shit. That means some shit if you got a Mustang.
Yeah, well, I was driving my wife's Mustang today, so.
I know, I saw that. He actually messaged me. I traded the Camaro in. I was like, this fucker's fucking with me. I know he is, man. It's like, on my way to Texas, we're gonna fix it. We're getting that ZL1 back, buddy. But no, EST. I'm in the capital, Raleigh. No, oh shit, dude. Yeah, you do get it the worst. You're getting it tenfold, man. Yeah. Holy hell, I feel for you, bud. I really do. Staying strong, though.
I lived in Virginia Beach for a number of years, so Virginia Beach.
Yep.
So relatively close to North Carolina.
Yeah, man. But yeah. Everybody here, that's been my experiences. Everybody here is typically conservative. I would say, the V8 crowd specifically. But, obviously that's really all that I know because the tuner guys or the JDM or whatever, they usually kind of off by themselves.
Yeah, like I said, I came from Subaru, so there's like a group of people that are, some of them are like, like I said, somebody posted like a holster freaking thing. Like, oh, wait, where do you guys mount your holster in your car?
So,
like, it was like, some people had literally melt down. I was like, Jesus.
Was it really?
Yeah, I was like, I feel sorry for this guy posting this thing, man. You might want to post it somewhere else. They're going to have a meltdown. But there's some people are like, good to go. Let's say I'm in a Subaru coffee and cars and some other group, and that's where they post that kind of stuff. So, don't post it to the soccer mom Subaru group. Stick to the cross tech track.
So is that Subaru group? Is it like younger? Is it the crowd younger or?
Yeah, mostly, relatively. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm like an old man in the Subaru group. I'm like an old fucking elder.
Senior citizen.
Yeah, I'm like doing cave paintings in my cave or whatever.
So are you still active in the Subaru?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm still in a lot of the groups or whatever, so I still stay up to date. But how
did you get started with that?
I always wanted a WRX or STI when I was for many years. I ended up buying one, so I was in the group and I did a bunch of like mods to my Subaru and stuff. So I was in the Facebook groups and stuff. I had the 2017 Subaru that I did like full bolt-ons, flex fuel, redid, built the whole suspension up, coilovers, and I replaced like every freaking bushing, everything on the freaking car. And I actually posted a number of my early videos or Subaru videos on my channel.
Yeah.
So my old crappy quality, super crappy quality, not just the normal crappy quality, but super crappy quality videos with Subaru stuff. But I was using some other software to edit, and it was so painful to edit stuff. It took so long, and the shit would crash all the time. I just completely gave up like halfway through. Like I was doing a full suspension like conversion like series, and I just gave up like near the end because I just got tired of editing the videos. And I disappeared from the channel for like 2 years because it was like the software like I'd be working on something and it would just crash, and like I'd lose like 30 minutes of edits and stuff. I'm like, no.
How did you go from Subaru to ZL1? Because dude, that like.
Big
Well, I had-
change.
That's a
Well, I had Camaros when I was younger. I had a 91 Camaro. I had an 82 Camaro.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So I had a Camaro like in high school, late high school.
okay.
I had an 82 Berlinetta that had like a 355 in it instead of the
Yep.
normal V6. You know, I've been familiar with
Yep.
the Berlinettas, but, you know, it was supposed to be the luxury Camaro.
Yeah.
It was the first year of the third gen, so I was real big on the third gen stuff, like third gen forums and stuff like that. And then I always wanted a fourth gen, but I never had the money to buy a fourth gen. You know, I was Navy or whatever, military, so I didn't have any money for the fourth gen. Fifth gen, I never really liked the look of it. I just thought they looked too big and bloated, kind of, and didn't really.
I just wasn't into the retro thing when it came.
Yeah, I wasn't just big, and then the sixth gen came out, and I was like, I liked the look of them. I was like, okay, they slimmed them down. They're more like a supercar, muscle car, sports car combo. I like the look of them, and so I kind of was looking at them for like a year, and then I finally was like, I'm
Pulled the
gonna order
trigger.
it. I'm gonna order it, and I sold my Subaru. So I pretty much hit the limit of my Subaru. My options were a built block, STI transmission swap, or switch platforms. And I was looking at Camaro, so that's when I switched platforms. So I was like, yeah, because a built block.
I was just thinking that's a hell of a jump to go from a.
Yeah, well, I went Camaro, and then I had actually an SVT Focus for many years as my like daily. So it was an SVT Focus, like hatchback, 2-door when I was younger. I had that car for like over 10 years.
Yeah.
But
Those
it's
are the ones that came with the 6-speed.
Yeah, 6-speed, freaking had the Cosworth tune, you know, tweaked up motor. It was a fun car. I had it for a lot of years. It parked, like it sat in parking lots for a long period of time because I had to get deployed. I had to park it, get deployed, come back, drive it, park it, deploy.
Yeah.
And so I had that car, and then I had my Explorer I've had for forever, you know, 10 plus years now as well. And then I had my Subaru as like my daily, and then I traded it for the ZL1.
Yeah. I always wanted that. Because
Yeah, a little bit of a jump.
Well,
Subaru, JDM to the supercharged
LT4 to a LT4. That's a big.
I went from the 2.0 twin scroll turbo to the 6.2 supercharged.
And now you still hang on to the Ford stuff, so you're across the.
Well, my wife has her Mustang, so she has an EcoBoost, 2019. That's her daily drive. And I have my Explorer, which my Explorer is all-wheel drive, 5.0, broken transmission now. But that car, has 50 something thousand miles on it, so holding up pretty good.
Purpose.
But
it served its purpose.
Well, if I would have just not driven it, if the transmission, I would have just swapped out the solenoid, and the transmission would have been perfectly fine. But I had to drive it. It was making whirring sounds. It had a code for like the torque control converter. Solenoid was like frozen, so it wasn't, the pressure and the transmission wasn't doing right. I was like, well, I can just drive a couple miles, it'll be fine while I wait for this part. And then that's when it just started like freaking going, it just wouldn't shift at all. And then I barely got it up on the freaking, I think I completely sucked the stake in it when I got it up on the ramps. It was like, ah! And it was overheating.
It
was puking out transmission fluid. I think it blew the gasket. And,
it was hot.
I just pulled the valve body earlier today. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the transmission valve body. You drop the pan, and it's got the filter, and then it's got the valve body, like 15 bolts holding it. You drop it down there. It's got springs and shit on it. And I split the valve body open. It's got 3 gaskets on there. One of the gaskets was completely blown out the side of it. The other gasket was like ripped in half. So I was like, shit.
Nope.
So I'm praying if I rebuild. I bought a thing called like a Sonic zip kit. So I'm gonna replace all the little bits and pieces, clean it up real good, and put it back together, put it up in the transmission, fill it with fluid, and pray it fucking works. Because if it's not, that means there's something with the gears. Or I didn't see chunks of anything in the pan.
That's good.
So I didn't see like a piece of like chewed up gear. The wear material. I saw metallic flakes and stuff, but 150,000 miles, same fluid.
You're gonna have,
and it wasn't like excessive. Like I didn't see chunks, big pieces. I didn't see like full pieces of gear like floating at the bottom of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's why I was like, I'm gonna pull the whole valve body. That'll confirm if anything else is falling out. Now, torque converter might be shot. So there's that. And I just don't want to pull the transmission because it's fucking heavy. Transmission stuff. There's fluid everywhere. It's fucking, and it's old. 150,000 mile transmission fluid smells like a dead body. Pretty much, it smells horrible. So I was like, I've been meaning to do the transmission, service for like the last 2 years. I just never got around to doing it.
Right.
It's with my, it was with my carbon fiber parts sitting in a box for like a year before I, got around to it. I have transmission fluid I bought like 3 years ago, just sitting. I'm finally like, I'm gonna use my transmission fluid.
Yeah,
Plus, the pan has no drain. There's no drain on the pan. So of course you have to take the bolts out.
20 bolts out.
Yeah, you leave the two, and you just. Now, if I don't, and I have an extraction pump, but I couldn't find it, so of course I had to do it where I just tilted a little bit, poured some out, drop it, and it's still like, so I didn't drop it and just spill fluid everywhere, but it's still a mess.
Yeah.
And I got
the controlled mess.
Yeah, and I got the valve body out, and of course that's all covered in transmission fluid, so I'm just spraying it with like freaking carb cleaner or whatever to clean out all the damn shit.
I've heard once if you take it apart so far that little BBs are falling out.
Yeah, well, no, BB. That's the valve body. Yeah, but I dropped them on my. I dropped the B. I had them on. I have these little plates, like food plates with the little sections. I put all the screws, and the check beads, the check thing, and of course the wind catches it and it freaking drops my check beads, and they all roll down my driveway into the sunset. I'm like, oh, thankfully my kit came with a new bag of check beads. I wasn't too worried about it, but if I didn't, I'd be very upset of losing out on.
You got balls, my friend. You got balls.
I had 8 check balls, and they all went down the driveway. Not just 2. No, I'm gonna send you a picture of what it looks like.
Into the sunset.
Well, my driveway's on a slight slope, which is real fun if you're on a wheel in a creeper or whatever. Because I wheel out from underneath the car, and then I just start taking down my driveway. And then, of course, my driveway goes to a road, which is on a huge hill. And so I could ride that thing for like a half mile down this hill. And, I'll send you a photo and see what... Here we go.
EST says, I love the Yanko Camaro bike. Old or new? The Yanko, I believe, was in the 1st gen, the 5th gen, and the 6th gen. But... what year are you talking about, bud? Because Tracy sent me pictures of his, and man, I'm telling you what, that car is nasty. Oh, I love that car.
So what's your plans this year for your ZL1?
Myself? Well, I ordered that 24. So, but I kind of took the Corey approach, and I just bought a new rear end.
I seen that, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna lengthen the gears, and hopefully I'm gonna start doing. I want to be trying to get up there with like twin turbo Viper territory. I don't know if I'm gonna have the budget to get there, but it says the old '69 one. Yes, that car is sick. That car is bad.
All the '69 cars are pretty badass. I mean,
I think Corey's on board with you there, EST.
Oh yeah,
the 69 Yanko. But as far as, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask, have you run your ZL1 at the track?
No, I don't have a track.
No, the Will.
Oh, nope, I haven't. No. I think they shut down most of the tracks around here too. So I took it to Mexico a couple times, but and I did some Unreal 5 Need for Speed runs with that and had some fun with that. But like I said, that's one thing that sucks. They tell people not to be like racing around on the roads, but then they shut down all the damn tracks, and then the tracks are too loud. I'm like, well, the track was there, and then people build houses next to the track, and then they complain about the track being loud. Just like people. Yes. Like the military will have these bases with airfields on them, and then people will build houses right up to the airfield, and then they'll bitch about the airfield making noise. Like, it's been there for 50 years. You built your house there 2 years ago, and you complain about noise. No shit. It's an airfield. Right. A track. It's going to make noise, but it's not going to be 24/7. It's just going to be during certain times or whatever.
Right.
But, so they shut down like a track. They're talking about opening another track. I could drive somewhere and go to the track, but another thing about the track is just so... It's freaking... like consumables are so freaking expensive. You're supposed to put in the different brake fluid, flush your brake fluid, put that hot, whatever it is, the different brake fluid. Tires gets chewed up super quick.
Tires?
Brake pads. Yeah. I was like, shit, man. It's like each time you want to go to the track like 2 or 3 times, it's like you're looking at over $1,000, $2,000.
Gee.
Yeah, I need like a beater car, track car, like a Miata. You know, most people get drop an LS in a Miata and just take that to track, just beat the crap out of it. That if you wipe it out, you're like, it's my freaking busted ass Miata. If I wipe my car out, I'm like, shit. Yeah, you see those
busted ass 70 grand.
Oh, I saw one. It was a Mustang on a drag track. It was good. It took off. Something broke like on his back wheel or something like that, and the car just spun right into the wall and just freaking just totaled.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what? Oh man. Oh, I'd puke. I'd puke.
Definitely get that Haggerty insurance or the fucking track insurance or something.
Yeah. I'm thinking about switching everything over to him.
Yeah. So.
But no, 2023. I kind of want to have some goals. I'm going to get the gearing right. I kind of want to go back and reassess. I want to put the car back on the dyno. I want to see what we're going to lose, what we're going to gain for horsepower, because I don't know. I've never done this to a car as far as going through and re-gearing. I think GM made the car, such low geared just because, I think they're trying to make that 650 horsepower feel as fast as they can. You know what I mean? Because I think that they're banking on a lot of people not really like going over the top and modifying their car. Like,
what is it?
I am.
2% of the people actually modify their car or something. I'm just making that number up, but it's a very small percentage of the actual car sales. Like, that's why I always thought the whole EPA cracking down on the custom tunes and the catalysts. It's such a tiny fraction of the population. It literally makes no difference to the overall pollution. Then you got trains derailing and cause more pollution than every modified car ever in that one day. Like, every modified catalytic car has done less pollution than that one train blowing on, burning up. Yeah. East Palestine or whatever. That has done more pollution than every modified car, catalytic car, exhaust car, corn-fed car combined. I guarantee it. There's no way those did anything close.
Yeah. And from what I hear, there's shit floating in the streams now as far as like dead fish. I hear that people are getting real sick. I hear there's a lot and I hear that there's going to be a lot of ramifications to come, but you don't hear a fucking word about that. So
they want to get that rail line opened up fast as possible. They wanted that rail line opened up as quick as possible. They just burn everything down and then release all these freaking crazy chemicals. And like I said, I saw some where this lady had a chicken farm and all her chickens is freaking like 10 miles out all died right like a few hours after they started doing that burn. And she had video footage of the chickens beforehand. They're all running around fine. A couple hours into the burn, every single one just dead. Another person had like a fox farm. All the foxes were like vomiting and just dying. And
I think it's real serious, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it's like one of the worst natural disaster events, or of this type, man-made natural, not like a hurricane or anything, of like the last 20 plus years. And you haven't heard really; they don't really say much about it. Was that movie I told you to check out, White Noise or something like that? White something. I think it's like White Noise. It's literally about a train derailment carrying hazardous materials. In Ohio.
It was the freakiest shit. Like,
it was actually came on Netflix or something like that couple months ago. And crazy
2 months ago.
Some of the background characters were played by people from East Palestine, Ohio, who then had a train derailment with hazardous materials in their town a few months, like a year after filming or whatever. Wow, that's great. Art was art imitating life imitating art or whatever it is.
Was this like a warning?
It was crazy. Shots? I mean, like somebody had oh shit! Head back to go.
Yep. No, really, it did because I mean, within 30 days, I gained 1,000 subscribers, and it was just like a freaking like a water faucet, dude. And I was just like, that's weird. Like I wasn't gaining. Like a week had passed and not one subscriber, not one. And I was like, this is, and I went back through and I was kind of reading the data and looking at the analytics, and it was like a couple days after we had that live stream. That's why I went through and I wiped everything out. And I'm like, maybe
too late, man. You're already flagged. You're
maybe that'll help. Right now, yeah.
Time to start a new channel. Yep.
I popped my. Hey, I'll have the driving side 2.0 up.
No, just the inside drive. The The inside drive. There you go.
That kind of sounds kind of sexual, don't it?
Inside the drive.
It's
driving on inside.
Yeah. The D inside. Yeah. Heading back to YouTube. Yeah. I've been there, buddy. I've been there. I guess I got to make parole, or I got to figure out how to get out of it. But yeah, I mean, the truth is the truth, and I'm not gonna sit here and go along with any narrative just to try to get a subscriber count. You know what I mean? Because that's being fake. That's being a true sellout, and that's being disingenuous. And I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. The truth is the truth. That's what it is. You just, you got to learn to deal with it, and you got to learn to freaking overcome, and you got to learn to adapt. So it's called life. So, yeah. But, yeah, back to YouTube jail. I'll probably lose a bunch. Probably lose a bunch of subscribers, but it's all good. I'm not worried about it. There's actually been a couple, Jack the Reefer. He goes through and, like, on the polls daily, almost daily, he would comment, and YouTube would actually be burying his comments. So I would actually have to go through YouTube Studio to find them. And
it's like a mark comment or whatever. Yeah, like where you have the pending comment, a pending. Like, yeah, that's weird. Like normally, if it's a good account that's been around for a while, they normally let them through. It's like the spam ones that get fucking, like, hey, click here to get your free YouTube view. I got one that popped up on my video, like free YouTube views, like, and they comment like some video. I'm like, I just go and they freaking block them or whatever. I don't want that kind of crap, on my videos or whatever, because it makes the videos look like like
what's that
trash all scattered in the comments and stuff.
Well, I've had a couple videos. They do it in the live stream.
Yeah, I've had a couple videos where they had all sorts of crazy like I don't know what these comments, like, they don't even make sense. Or I'm like, where are these even coming from? And why is it like this video, but not like this video? It makes no sense. It'd be like, just like, very pretty video. I like it a lot. I'm like, what? Like, beautiful makeup tutorial. I'm like, what the? I'm not putting on me makeup tutorial. Well, at least I'm aware of. Go on now. That's my drag YouTube channel.
It ain't no wonder you got almost twice as many subs as I do.
Yeah, so you gotta pander.
That's what I gotta do. That's what I gotta do. I guess.
I'm gonna put on I got a mullet wig. I'm gonna start wearing that in all my videos. Oh, you ready for some Camaro content? You came to the right place.
That's
dirt mullets up into town now. I did for Halloween. I actually did wear a Big Trouble in Little China. Have you ever seen that movie with what's his name?
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. I had his shirt, his wife beater, or his wife.
That was the 90s. Man.
Correcting shirt. I don't want to say something too bad for you too, but he had his wife correcting shirt. He had the jean pants or whatever. I had the mullet on. The only thing I didn't shave like my face or anything like that, because he's clean shaven for it. But then I had the mullet. But I did a bunch of videos with my Camaro, so I was like, posing in front of my Camaro, with the mullet blown in the wind. I had the fan blowing it by. And I posted, I think, on my YouTube or my Instagram or something like that.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, I'm gonna start driving around with the mullet. I don't think it'll look perfect. Especially if I had a third gen. I need to get grabbing on a third gen Camaro with the mullet. That's like the perfect. T-tops off, mullet blowing in the wind. Yes.
Headlights, one headlight. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Well, I think anything else you guys want to bring up, touch base on?
No, I think I think we hit it.
Yeah.
We'll all get our YouTube strikes, and we'll be good to go.
Yeah. We can all take our lashings and go about life like a big boy, right? Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate you guys coming on another week. For those of you, go check them out, LSX Motorsports. I saw you got a video. You had a bench full of parts, bud. You got a lot of stuff coming up.
Suspension stuff, yeah.
You too, Will.
We're both full of a bench part. Sounds like.
Yeah, you both got a bunch full of stuff, but you're whittling your pile down. But Corey, I saw that you had you just installed a gauge, and I saw a torque converter.
Yeah, and I got some drag shocks.
You got okay.
I have to try to hook up on the street. You fellas do the 60 to 130. I don't do that.
Yeah. I don't know if
I do
don't know if I
60
could.
to the speed limit, so 60 to 70. That's what I do.
60 to 65.
60 to 70. We got 70s down here. So
Oh,
I
you're
don't want,
yeah.
I don't want to get too crazy now.
Than,
Yeah, I'm wild. 60 to 70. You know, like yes, 0.2 seconds. Who can beat
it's
it?
definitely not 71. It's definitely not. No, sir. Yeah, no. So yeah, I saw we're gonna have some content to be expecting from you. Is that true?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna see what the gears do, and then I'll put the torque converter in after, see what it does in the quarter mile. I don't expect a lot.
You don't expect a lot. What do you mean?
No, well, it's a cheap torque converter, not a good one.
So? I bet
Well,
you still work.
The cheap ones, you'll get 1 or 2 tenths out of it, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. It's just depends. I just do cheap stuff on our channel.
Well, hey, there's a lot of good information that you can dig up and and bring to the surface for on the low, on the cheap.
Yeah, well, there's lots of people that are on a budget, same as me. So,
wouldn't you like to know? It says I really dig the 30th anniversary inspired stripes on your SS, Corey. Did you put those on?
Yeah, that's where I got the idea, was from the 30th anniversary car.
Yeah.
The all white just was a little too much. I don't even like white. I don't like convertibles either. I guess I told you this before. But
yeah,
I didn't have much choice in buying one around here. You might see 2 SSs a year come up for sale. So
you just put like a roll cage in it?
In like 5 hours drive. I didn't want to go no further than 5 hours.
Did you put a roll cage in it or what?
No. It ain't fast. I don't need one right yet. Anyway, it ain't that fast. Just like a mid-12 second car right now.
Yeah, but I mean, that's still fun on the street. I don't think that, you know, like I said, the 4th gen, I had a bunch of those. I had a 93, 94, 95, 96. I never got into the 98 to 02 though. That's the one I really wanted to own. But I don't know if you would really want to put 700, 800 horsepower in a chassis like that. What do you think?
No, I'll never go that far anyway.
No.
It's
still a fun car. It's still a really fun car.
I want to run high 11s. Now I'm going to start working on the car a little bit. I like to change the wheels, and I got to redo the stripes because they're not just perfect. And
well,
of course, I've also been kicking around the idea of buying a new Camaro, so I don't know what's going to happen.
Do tell. A new? Are you going to order it? Are you going to order a new one?
I'm going to see what 2024 has to offer. I already talked to the dealership. They told me they could order me one. So we're going to wait a year and then see what's available for 2024. Yeah.
You're going to wait too long. It's going to be a 2024 Mustang and not.
Well,
yeah, that's right.
If they don't make them, I don't care anyway.
This
is just an idea I'm kicking around. If they quit making them, that's fine. I still got mine, so I like the 4th gens.
Yeah.
One thing I wish is those 8 speeds and 10 speeds. They would have built them in such a way that I could use one in my car. But see, the way they're programmed, you can't. They got to be on an LT engine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then there's even differences between the transmission and controller or whatever. Between like the 2019s and before and the 2020s and up, like it said. So people who want to do programming of their transmissions or whatever, 2020 and up, they actually have to pull a 2019 or lower controller and swap it over and then program it with that.
Could you do Motec
for your for transmission, or
could you do Motec on your LS and then incorporate the TC, the transmission
with the Motec? From what I understand, they will not work with anything but because they're a torque based programmers. I don't understand the whole ins and outs of it, but what I do know is that you absolutely cannot use it on anything other than one of them LT engines and the computer that goes with the LT engine, because it's all torque based, that system.
Okay.
It's complicated. I don't
I
know.
didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know everything about it, but what I do know is that you can't use one.
I do not know. Once you get into like the tuning side and the interface between this module and that, I don't even know. I could put this rear end in my car and have a bunch of the dash light up like Christmas tree. I don't know. As far as like
a tune will fix that.
Yeah. Oh, will it?
Symbols going in with the tune and changing your. Oh yeah.
But well, see, from what I hear, these ELSDs are like all it's reading is like just telling to lock or unlock, and it's kind of reading from like the TPS, engine load. You know what I'm saying? Like the mag ride, and it's just it's kind of trying to protect.
I'm pretty sure you can get tuned for that.
Okay.
But as far as putting like a 10-speed or an 8-speed into a 4th gen, you can't do it unless you go by that. GM sells the Cruise Tune and Cruise. I don't know what it's called now, but you can buy like an actual LT1 engine with the 10-speed automatic.
Just swap everything.
And it comes with all the computers and everything. But as far as just putting that transmission on the back of an LS1, you can't do it. It's not Corey, that it won't bolt up. It's that something to do with the programming.
That would be badass, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, them transmissions, people, you guys with your 6-speed thinks that's better. I'm going to tell you, those 8 speeds and them 10 speeds, you can't beat them. They're like the greatest thing that they ever come out with, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yours got a 10-speed, doesn't it, Will?
Yeah, I have a 10-speed, yep.
They're awesome, ain't they?
Oh, yeah. It's super responsive. It always knows what gear to be in. It's always in the best gear, and it doesn't do any hunting. I haven't noticed any hunting around for gear. It's always... And then you tap performance mode, it drops right into the optimal gear and just holds that gear until the perfect time to shift. No complaints. It's not as fun to drive. Like, for sometimes with my manual, I always like to, give that little, like, you can't just coast and rev your motor up and stuff like that, which was always fun. You're rolling through a parking lot, you want to give them a little of the sauce, whatever. But you kind of miss that portion of it. But other than that, just driving though, it's a good. I never liked auto transmissions until recently, and that one is like it hits.
What?
Just hit.
Really?
Yeah, all my other cars have been manual.
So
other than my Explorer, my Explorer's auto too.
So let me ask you this: are there days where you miss a manual?
Like I said, let's say I'm rolling through a parking lot and I want to give them a little bit of that, the neutral stab or a little bit. You can't do that in the auto. I guess I could put it into neutral. I guess while I'm coasting it, but it limits. You can't just sit there and rev your motor out if you're like parked. Because it has a rev limit when parked, like in park or whatever, of your transmission. So you can't just sit there and floor it to like 6,500 RPM and park. It won't let you. But versus in your manual, you can just hold down the clutch and then just give it some gas. And
that's what I love about it, is I have full and total control. Full and total control. I can do whatever I want, and that's the one thing I do love about my manual.
If you pull up beside a 10-speed with equal power, you're going to get beat.
You think?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm talking about equal power, not yours. You got 700 and some horsepower now. I'm talking if you took a stock 6-speed and put it up against a stock
10-speed,
especially on the street, because with the manual you're going to be struggling trying to get traction. With the automatic, it's a lot easier to get off the line, and then you're gone.
Well, then I have launch control in mine, and it kind of helps with the spinning, because I think it'll control up to like 100 spins per second. But I think I don't know if they have both of them. And I got no lift shift.
But the no lift shift helps, but like I said, you have those section of your gear where you have like not optimal power. So you got these spots like first 10 speed is always an optimal RPM band. Yeah. That's what makes it better. Now it's not a huge difference, but it's more consistent as well. Like I said, for like drag racing, you can technically be consistent every single time if you have your launch all dialed in, because it's going to shift exactly correctly. That you don't get your shift right on the money. Now, if you're like a pro driver, but even like I said, aren't most pro drag racers all now like auto or sequential or some shit like that now?
Oh shit! They're trying to get down to a 1-speed. Fuck. Yeah, I mean that's the kind of the advantage of why I went with this rear end that I did. Because when you lengthen the gears, now I don't have to shift. So if I can put that low grunt zone, like that where that roots blower needs to be working, because if it's just zip 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 running through the RPMs, you're not utilizing that roots blower. But if you're putting the gearing in it or getting putting some feet under it, getting it to stretch its legs, now you're working that grunt zone and getting that roots blower to actually do what it's designed to do. So it's kind of my theory here is if I have to do less shifts, if I can get through a race with one shift, you know what I'm saying? Am I going to be compatible? Is it going to be equivalent? Is it going to be, I don't know. It's going to be, Alex, what's up, dude? This is my friend's kid. He doesn't live too far from me. I haven't heard from you in a while. What's up, buddy? It's good to see you, man. But yes, if I can get through a race with one shift or a shift, it's going to dramatically help me. And that's kind of my theory of combating the automatics or DCTs or, sequentials or whatever. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm charting it off into, once I put that rear end in my car, I'm in unknown territory. So anything could happen. I could lose horsepower on the dyno. I could
blow out the back of your car.
I could blow.
That's why they're selling it. It's all jacked
knock
up
on everything. Oh my god, dude! I think it'll be good though. I think it'll really really help utilize that power band and put the car to where it should be. But I don't know. But I will tell you this: those 10 speeds are freaking nasty. I raced a couple of them in my orange SS 1LE, and just the shifts, dude. It's just just ripping through gears, and they're fast. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll try it. We'll try it. Not much. Dad's looking at. Justin's looking at cars again. He says just something cheap like a C6. Man, I tell you what, I want a C6. I would prefer a C6. I think C6 is like the sweet spot. If those cars, I made a video like a couple years ago of them shooting up in price, hitting 6 figures. But I think over time, I think even the regular C6 are going to be worth a lot of money. 5th gen LS3, yes. I think the 5th gen L99s were automatics and LS3s were the stick. So if he gets a stick, yes! My man. Yeah, but no, 5th gen, I like the 5th gen. Every 5th gen that I set in, it had elbow room. Jonathan still doesn't have his 5th gen, does he?
What's that?
Jonathan doesn't have his 5th gen still, does he?
No, he sold it and then bought the 6th gen.
To get that black one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 5th gen was black too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Did you ever have it on your channel?
No, he sold it before we started the channel.
Yeah. But every 5th gen, Alex, dude, every 5th gen I ever had more cabin room. And I thought, I was kind of impressed with the Zeta chassis. But ton of engine bay room to work on and modify the car. Parts are cheap. He had a 6th gen. He had a 16 8-speed, and I raced it, and I got my ass whipped. So you can have that one, Corey. But yeah, that car was fucking quick. But yeah, says I missed a silver car. The thing got ripped. Yeah, that car was bad. I think it had a cam in it. It was a full bolt on 8-speed build, and that thing was. I raced it with my SS1LE, lost, and that was when I was like, okay, time to go get a ZL1. So, but no, Will, you got any big updates or plans coming 2023 for the ZL1?
I'll be throwing up.
You gonna
I'll be
clean
throwing
off the
out.
bench?
Yeah, well, I'll be throwing out my diffuser install video here probably tomorrow, maybe if I get around
Okay.
to finish editing on that. But I'll be taking some of the footage from my taillight video, putting into that video for the bumper portion. I probably should have just done a bumper specific, taking the bumper on and off, and all that fun stuff. I might just do a bumper on and off video. I'm not sure, but then once I'm done with that, I got the true fiber side skirts I'll be doing.
Yeah.
Once I'm done with that, then I'll be starting on suspension. I have all that BMR stuff, the full BMR suspension, pretty much like the front and back.
Yeah.
But I went with just non-adjustable for the most part. Because I had all adjustable on my WRX, and pretty much I set it once and I didn't adjust it again. Now, if I was going to be like on and off the track, doing different track stuff and having to tweak fine-tune my suspension every single time, I would probably went more adjustable. But this one, I'm just going to put it in, lock everything in place.
Did you buy the adjustable stuff or no?
No, this is all mostly non-adjustable stuff. So I'm going to set it. It's a little bit more durable.
Yeah.
Less noisy. You don't have to hear all the damn squeaks and stuff, because I know my adjustable on my WRX is squeaky as hell. They had to go in there and loop, squeak everywhere.
Really?
I'm like, God damn. Yeah, because all that adjustable stuff is often a lot more noisy. I'm not talking like vibration noise. I'm just talking like squeaks and stuff of your suspension.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be, like I said, I did a whole suspension stuff on my WRX, and this one I'm trying to keep it simple. Just putting some more style stuff. The big ones I want to do is that cradle bushing inserts to help lock in that rear end, hopefully take away a little bit of the squiggliness out the back. With those super soft.
I wonder if I should put those in while I
it looks kind of like a pain, 'cause you have to, of course, completely disconnect that cradle and try to drop it down and get those things in there, and then I guess lock it back in. And then, of course, you have to, all this stuff for all these Camaros is torque to yield bolts. So technically, you're supposed to replace the bolts for most of the suspension stuff every time. So they say you reuse the bolt. BMR says, "Oh, we reuse bolts, is fine." But I was like, "Well, I'm paying X amount of money for suspension stuff, X amount of money for the car. I'll pay the $100 for all new bolts." So I bought all new bolts.
Yes.
But it just sucks, because then if you want to do even doing, I think the alignment, technically, I think a couple of alignment bolts you're supposed to even replace every single time you do an alignment.
Yeah.
If you go to a non-dealership, you have to go there with damn alignment bolts and stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure they swap them out, because, like I said, when you take it to your torque value, then you have to do half turn or whatever to yield. Now you stretch that bolt. So of course, when you remove the bolt, it's stretched. You reinstall it.
Yes.
You can't keep torque to yielding the same bolt over and over again. So what they do is they often will give you a different torque value to use. Like if it's a torque to yield volt, you've taken it out, put it back in. Instead of doing 50 pounds, instead of doing 50 pounds, do 80 pounds or whatever. But then you can only do that so many times before is your bolts, is it still metal quality of that bolt? Is it still good? Is it going to shear off while you're driving? Because you've now stretched it, 5 times or whatever. So I figure I'll just, the bolts, and of course you gotta torque everything down while your suspension's under load. So that's a whole nother thing. Which is nice about the quick jack is I have the wheel cribs. I slide them under the wheels. I can drop the quick jack back onto the cribs. I can torque the yield torque everything with the load. You see a lot of people, they'll torque it with the suspension free hanging or whatever, and then they'll put it down, and it just causes binding and stuff and all sorts of crazy shit with your suspension. Don't torque your shit with the suspension just hanging there, because you'll definitely have some issues with that. So
it's got to be loaded.
Yeah. So I went like I said, with my WRX, I went hardcore. I replaced every single bushing and the whole suspension. I even bought full aluminum freaking front control arms and stuff, all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
And they look so nice. I didn't even want to install them because they look like a freaking mantelpiece. I was like, these things are so nice looking. Then of course, I had a coil over since I had lowered the car a couple inches. I actually put a roll center kit to lower that center of gravity and keep that all nice and in alignment. Because a lot of people if you lower your car but you don't put the roll center, then your actual center of gravity is a little bit wonky compared to your suspension.
Yep.
So fun stuff.
Yep.
But my whole workbench is just covered in suspension parts right now. So,
well, I'm sure you'll fix that here pretty soon.
So once I'm done with it.
That's a good tip on the non-adjustable stuff, because I was just about ready to order the adjustable stuff. But
the adjustable stuff will give you more. You can dial in your suspension. You get the perfect camber. You want to do some crazy camber. You want extra cambering and stuff. I don't want to be messing with it every weekend. I don't want to be messing with it all the time. But often you'll have to go in there and re-grease everything. Any suspension you should do a little bit of greasing on these. But they have They have the greasable. The cool thing about the aftermarket suspension, they have the greasable points and stuff like that. Most of the OEM stuff is it's just self-contained, of course, and you don't grease it until you replace the whole unit or whatever. If it, whatever. But yeah, I just didn't want they're a little bit harder to dial all your shit in with the damn adjustable stuff because, of course, you pull the old piece off, you get the adjustable piece, you have to spin it out to line them up so they're perfectly aligned, and get it installed. Then you have to fine tune it. Then you have to kind of eyeball your suspension so you get to the damn suspension shop. But yeah, a lot noisier. So if you don't want squeaks and squacks while you're going over speed bumps and stuff, you're hearing it squeak.
Right.
Then that's why I don't, like I said, I'm not going to be hitting the track all the time, so I'm not going to have to fine tune my suspension. Now, if you want to, if you plan on fine tuning going from a drag strip to a circle track to a racetrack, autocross, and you want to be, you're over there fine tuning your suspension, then of course get the adjustable.
Yeah. Nah. I think
I just want my car to I don't want my car to fucking like swirl out quite as much and lock in that rear end a little bit more. So I just got the big solid chunks of steel, welded it together, call it a day.
And then it's done.
So I'm gonna set it, forget, just keep it greased up and be good.
Well, that's good. All right, gentlemen, I think I'm gonna head off here, but it's good to stream with you guys. Maybe we'll hit this back next week or so. And other than that, don't forget to go check out everybody's channel here. Dirt, he's got a ton of good information. LSX, we got a lot of good stuff coming for you for the season. I have a lot of faith in the 4th gen, so I'm kind of excited to see some content out of your channel this summer. So other than that, hope you guys have a good night. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video. We'll catch you guys next week.
All right. Peace.
Yep.
See ya.
Later, bud. That's it.